Good evening, everyone. Please begin to take your seats. We're starting in a few minutes. Good evening. We're about to start. Please take your seats. Good evening, residents of Prince George's County, and thank you for being here today. My name is Arian Alvear with the Prince George's County Council, and I welcome you to the last of 3 2026 Council listening tours. We appreciate you taking the time to join us and share your voice with us tonight. This listening tour is about hearing directly from you what's working, what isn't, and what needs improvement. We also have representatives from a number of agencies to address some of your concerns. Your experiences and ideas help guide our decisions and shape the future of Prince George's County, and the Council is here to listen. Some quick housekeeping notes. Please keep your comments to 2 minutes to allow for Council members and agencies to respond if possible, and for other residents to have time to speak. Please refer to officials by their titles, for example, Council Member, Chair, Director. We have interpretation available in sign language and in Spanish. Tenemos interpretación disponible en español para los residentes que lo necesiten. And also, if you haven't done so already and you would like to speak, please sign up at the table at the end with the clerk's office. Thank you, and with that, I will turn it over to our Council Chair, Crystal Oriata, for opening remarks.
Thank you. And good evening. I'm glad to see people out here. I know it's cold and it was starting to snow, but it just shows how many people really want to be engaged in the community. So you could be anywhere this evening. So I appreciate that you're here to join us on our last tour of listening sessions. As mentioned, I'm Councilwoman Crystal Oriata. I have the pleasure of representing District 7, where we are right now. Thank you. Welcome to District 7. And also serve as the chair of the County Council for this year. And so when I became chair, it was really important to me that I did collaborative leadership. It's the way I really serve in District 7. We have monthly civic roundtables where I'm on Zoom for 2 or more hours, and we go through all of my bills, all the ideas. We go through the budget together. And I thought, as a chair, and it's my responsibility to steward our leadership for the entire county, it was important for me not to just hear from my colleagues, but to hear directly from the constituents. So we did north, central, and south part of the community. And the goal is to hear thoughts and questions about policy changes that we could make, legislation you'd like to see us focus on, also looking at how we should prioritize the budget. As many know, the budget will come to us next month, and we'll start the process of hearing from every agency. So this will be a perfect time to hear your thoughts and your concerns, and so you can be part of this collaborative process. We also have a survey, because we know some people aren't going to be able to make it to these in-person sessions, and some people will be here, but maybe they don't want to get up and speak in front of people. So you'll see a survey link that they have at the table, and so you can fill that out as well, or you can share it with those that weren't able to make it. At the end, there will be a report a report that will synthesize the ideas, the questions, the concerns that were shared, and also the survey information. And that is what I'm going to hold myself and my colleagues to delivering on. We need to hone in. We won't be able to do everything, but the reality is that when we talk about the policy changes we make, how we prioritize the budget, it in some way should align with what the community is asking us to do. As shared, there's some priorities that I'd like to share. Economic development is probably the top priority for me. One of the things that I hear the most, and as a resident I feel, is the tax burden is so heavily on the residents because most of the revenue as a county come from our taxes. And so when we talk about how we're going to create more services or we want to fill in gaps, the only way to get that resource can't be on the backs of residents. Now, the only solution to that is economic development. We have to figure out how can we bring industries to the county? How can we grow our economic commercial base? And so real life policy changes that allow us to bring development is a top priority. We also want to talk about universal child care. I am a mom. I have a 2-year-old, and I really understand how it is an economic game changer not having access to reasonable child care. I am so lucky and blessed that my parents moved from Texas down here to help me. But when I looked at daycare prices, it can cost as much as people's mortgage. We had a report come out from the comptroller of the state around child care because they saw how much lack of access to child care and child care costs were a driver of economic development for the entire state. So for the first time, we're going to have a real conversation around what it looks like and what it means to have access to child care in Prince George's County. We'll also be looking at zoning changes. We hear a lot about the process, how long it takes, and how competitive we can be to neighboring jurisdictions. The reality is that, yes, we want to make the process faster, but the people we can't cut out is the community. We want to make sure as zoning change happen, as projects are coming into the community is aware, the community has time to engage. So how do we find that balance by making ourselves competitive, making the process faster without cutting out residents? And the last top priority for me is special education. We know that we have a higher percentage of kids that are diagnosed with autism and other delays in Prince George's County, and it's a growing number. And the reality is the autism waiver sometimes has an 11-year delay of services. We know it's constantly underfunded when it comes to special education. And so we already launched, one of the new things we just launched is a learning circles, giving free one-on-one services with speech pathologists, sign language, 3 times a week, and one-on-one training, 100% free partnership with the library system. But we can do more. And we're also partnering with Felton Moss to have an autism symposium to talk about the services and how we can do better. So those are just some of the high-level top priorities for me. But I don't want to have all my priorities just be mine. And so that's why we're having this session today. Now, also for housekeeping, this session, you'll have 2 minutes to talk. But unlike when you come to the council, some of you might have testified before, usually when you come to the council, you speak, but then you move on and you don't get a response. It's one of those rules around decorum that we're not supposed to respond. It's supposed to be us just hearing. These sessions are different. So you have 2 minutes to talk, but if you have a question, we will answer you in real time. Now, if you just have a statement, we have people taking notes. We're tracking all of the statements. We won't respond because of time. We'll move on to someone that might have a question. But this will not be us just talking at you or you just talking at us. It'll actually be a conversation. But now I want to pass it on to my colleagues to give them an opportunity to speak. I want to first say that Councilmember Burrows, he had an emergency in his district, so he wasn't able to join us tonight, but we appreciate his work and that the work never stops, and I understand him prioritizing the issue and concern that his constituent had and making sure he dealt with it in real time. But we are joined by some of our council members, and so they'll each have 2 minutes to speak. We'll turn on the clock. And we'll start with the Honorable Representative from District 9, Sidney Harrison.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, for your leadership. I want to thank District 7 for welcoming District 9 into your community. Yes, indeed. My name is Sidney Harrison. I represent the southern part of Prince George's County, which includes the town of Upper Marlboro, the town of Eagle Harbor, Dayton, Fort Washington, Quasco, Cheltenham, Accokeek, Clinton, and Brandywine. I'm excited to be here this evening to hear from each and every one of you all. As Madam Chair just said, we are focused on doing some innovative things as a legislative body, but also including the partnership with Maryland National Capital Park and Planning, looking at our 38 master plans in the county, our sector plans, our neighborhood stabilization plans, plan unit developments, which are called PUDs, and we are looking at ways where we can create an opportunity for equity and access in our community. We know how important it is to diversify our tax base, create job creation and job incubators, employment incubators, as well in the county, along with creating the amenities. With 40 seconds left, the reason why this is so very important is we have learned that Prince George's County loses about $3 billion annually, meaning our hard-earned Prince George's County dollars are going into other communities, rebuilding those communities. Just imagine what $3 billion would look like in our community. And so we're focused on creating that equity and access, and I want to thank each and every one of you all for giving me the time to speak, but now it's my time to listen. Thank you.
Next, we have our representative at-large member, Councilmember Jolene Ivey.
Thank you so much. I'm Jolene Ivey. As she said, I'm the at-large member of the council. There are two of us, but I'm here. And I represent the entire county, so I do represent each of you, and I'm really, really proud about that. My focus during this time is on the disability community. I kind of looked around and saw that each council member had created their own niche for their district, but since I represent the whole county, I wanted to make sure I took on issues that the whole county is grappling with, and I know everyone is dealing with disabilities in some way. For my first effort, we took on the blind and low vision community. They're 3.5% of our population, but they had no services here at all. So we pulled together some people from that community, learned what they needed, and then I went to the county executive, and she very graciously offered free space in one of the county buildings. So we'll soon be opening there. We're just getting it furnished right now. And we're really happy to be able to offer this service to county residents. I already previously had sponsored a bill that passed with the support of all my council members, called Universal Design. It means that starting on July 1st, as houses are being built in Prince George's County, they should be built with universal design in mind. So if you should suddenly become permanently or temporarily disabled, you won't have to move out of your house. If you have a family member that needs to move in, like my dad moved in with us for the last 5.5 years of his life, it wouldn't have been possible if our house hadn't already been set up that way. And so I was thinking about other people, other families, and that's one of my priorities as well. And then when I'm finished with the blind low vision, at least getting it launched, we're going to help with the autistic community so that they can tell us what they need and we can try to fulfill that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I want to thank both of my colleagues for being here tonight and joining us. Now, as mentioned, hopefully you already signed in. They'll have a running list of everyone that did sign in. If you have not signed in, but you'd like to speak, the clerk's table at the back, they have to get your information for the record. I want to thank our fire chief. I always call her Mimi. Fire Chief Mimi for joining us in the back. We also have some tables from different agencies. So we have Employ Prince George's here. So that's if anyone is looking for a job or has like wants to learn a trade or a skill set, they have training access. We also have WSSC joining us. So if you want to learn about some of the programs that they have with assistance, and am I missing anyone else? All righty. And so I'll pass it to you.
There we go. Good evening again, everyone. I'm Lene White. I'm your facilitator for this evening. I will be calling your names in groups of 3. I would ask that all 3 people come up to the mic so that we can move as smoothly as possible. If you look down on the floor here, you will see the clock, and it will be for 2 minutes. And once you start to go over, you're going to hear a little sound, and we ask that you kindly stop at that time. Okay, so we're going to get started. The first name is Kurt Sloan, LaTanya Hill, and then Anthony Goodwine. Thank you so much.
And when you start, the clock will start.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the council. I really appreciate you for taking the time to graciously allow me to speak here tonight. My name is Kurt Sloan. I'm a retired police officer of Metropolitan Police Department after 35 years of service. I retired in 2023. I'll get right to the point. There are a few matters more serious in this city or county than the crime of homicide. On October 18, 2022, 20-year-old Darian Herring was brutally and senselessly murdered by Stephon Edward Jones of the District of Columbia. This occurred at the Prince George's County Mall. On September 21st, after failing to locate Mr. Jones, a media blitz was conducted by the Prince George's County Police Department and the United States Marshal Service. Prince George's County offered $25,000 for information leading to the arrest. The marshals offered $15,000. On October 5th at 11:55 p.m., this source called me and said, "I know where Mr. Jones is right now." Excellent. I grabbed a group of officers, and by 1:19, an hour and 24 minutes later, I had Mr. Jones in custody without incident. There was mounting pressure on the Prince George's County Police Department homicide unit to close this crime. A 20-year-old was murdered. The Marshal Service made good on their $15,000 reward right away. The Prince George's County Police Department would only give this subject $5,000 that had promised $25,000. This is far below what the reward was offered across the DMV. As you might know, this source provided information at great personal risk. As you might also know, this source is not near as fortunate as you or I sitting in this room. I'm here to represent this citizen source. This source provided us with critical information that allowed us to apprehend Mr. Jones after he was on the run for 2 months. Is that it?
Yes. I wanted to see, do we have a representative from the police department? So we don't have, so what we're going to do is, I'm not sure about this particular issue and why they weren't given the full award, and is that common practice or if that has been fixed or addressed. So what we're going to do is have someone get your information. We're going to follow up directly with the chief of police on this matter, and then also trying to understand fully what the circumstances are. Aaron, can you make sure someone gets his information?
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You are more than welcome.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is LaTanya Hill Higgins, and I'm here, and I want to say hi, Council Lady Crystal Oriata. I appreciate you for the great work that you're doing. Thank you, Councilman Harris, and also Councilman Ivey. I'm calling on the community in regards because I work in a facility in labor and delivery. And currently we have a wide spread of issues that are going on that we need help with. There is a maternal health initiative that Council Lady Crystal Oriata has already put into effect, which is a great idea, and helping the young ladies who are postpartum and also prenatal moms who needs help. I'm here because I want to house those young ladies who do not have a place to go. A lot of our women, 3 out of every women, black women, are dying because of childbirth. I would like to house those young ladies. I would like to take care of the babies from the womb. This is my plea. Maternal health inequality is a serious social problem in the United States. Maternal health refers to the care of women receiving and during pregnancy, childbirth, and afterbirth. Even though the United States is a wealthy country with advanced medical technology, many women, especially black women and low-income women, are more likely to become very sick and die during pregnancy. According to many of these deaths are preventable, yet they continue to happen because of unequal access and care to the system. I would like to house these young ladies, be able to give them services as far as prenatal. I have a team of individuals for mental health.
Thank you.
Okay. I appreciate
No, thank you for, one, the work that you want to do. And I think the county is really aligned in this moment about focusing on black maternal health in a way that has historically never done. You're right about the statistics. A few things that we've done, we passed the Black Maternal Health Act. It was a bill that I put in last year. It does a few things. It works with, thank you, it works with creating awareness, a survey with hospitals. We created a fund as well. And then we finally got $200,000 towards black maternal health. I just launched a Mother's First initiative, which will be going into the homes, into the homes of 1,000 moms of District 7 to help them with like folding clothes, doing laundry, the basic things that they need, then having virtual sessions with them, and then mommy meetups, just an opportunity for moms to come together, make friends. So I say all that to say that this is a huge issue. We're going to have to handle it from every aspect, working with the hospitals, working around awareness, and getting direct support to our mothers. And I will continue to work with you on the bond bill that I know you're looking at for the state.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you for your willingness to serve. As you know, housing is always very important. And I was just going to suggest to my colleagues that maybe if we could get your information or you leave it with one of our staff members, we could connect you not only with the Department of Social Services, but Director Elena Butler from Family Service, along with our health department, to figure out how we can continue to strengthen that capacity, because this is such a needed resource that is needed.
Thank you so much, and Councilman Harrison, I thank you that you have mentioned that, because the building that I'm looking at is a 3-story building. It's at 7915 Malcolm Road, Clinton, Maryland.
Okay, 7915.
Yep, your district, right?
Yeah.
Councilmember Ivy.
And thank you. I was also wanting to mention that something that the county does have right now through Family Connects. Any woman who has a baby in Prince George's County is entitled to visits from a home nurse. So if you just contact Family Connects, say, I'm about to have a baby, I just had a baby, anyone you know, you don't have to have the baby in the county. If you have the baby somewhere else, it's okay. But they'll come to your home and give you home visits. Make sure you're okay. You have someone to talk to, and after a couple of visits, if they think you're fine, then that's the end of it. If they think you need services, they'll connect you with services. And I'm really proud that I was able to get that started with a pot of money I had access to some years ago. So happy that it exists.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you all for your services.
Thank you. And one last comment from Councilmember Harrison.
Mr. Dion Rouse, if you can, Mr. Dion Rouse works for the District 9 team.
Yes,
if
sir.
you could give him your information as well, and we will make sure that we get you that information.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, too.
Thank you. We were joined by two of my colleagues, so I'll allow them to introduce themselves. We have now a 2-minute timer for introductions for members, but I'll pass it to Councilmember Fisher, who represents Councilmanic District 2.
Good evening, Districts 8 and 9. It's so great to be here with you all. And 7, I'm sorry, Crystal. I'm in 7. Yes, and I'm in 7. I was here for Hillcrest Heights Community Association. Great association, by the way, for their meeting. My name is Wanika Fisher. Sorry, me and Councilmember Gay and I were at the same event, so we drove like 50 minutes all the way from North County. My name is Wanika Fisher. I have the honor of representing District 2 in Prince George's County, so that's the Hyattsville area. And I also have the honor of chairing 2 committees here at the council. So one is your General Assembly Committee. So that's the council taking a position, or sometimes not a position, about state legislation and making sure we get every dollar from Annapolis that we need to complete our budget and our needs, and also let them know, our opinion on certain things. And then I also chair our Health, Human Services, and Public Safety. So that committee oversees all of your public safety agencies that you see in this room. So that's police, sheriff, fire, Prince George's corrections, Office of Emergency Management, State's Attorney, and more, and also obviously our Health Department and Social Services. So public safety is my wheelhouse. I hope it's my wheelhouse. My colleagues at least believe it is on the council. So excited to be here with you all tonight.
Thank you. And now we'll have introduction from one of our newest at-large members, Councilmember Wallaby.
Hello, good evening, everyone. It is an honor. I said, this sneaky chair, put this thing in District 7. I said, okay, I see you. It is great to be here. I'm Councilmember Walla Blagay. I am your new at-large council member. And I will say, just to add to what Councilmember Fisher said, and Councilmember Ivey, we were all at a groundbreaking of a new winery resort in Prince George's County. So I just want to say there's good news, and I know for some of you who are concerned about economic development and places to go and things to take advantage of, good news, we have good news of things coming, and even groundbreaking of things today. So it is amazing to be here. As Councilmember Fisher talked about, focusing on public safety, I've been focusing on health. I'm chair of the Board of Health. We've done a lot of things on health, including focusing on bringing more primary care to Prince George's County. We have an emergency room task force report that's waiting to be released. We have we are focusing in on, we have HIV issues, a high number of HIV that we have to address. And then we have so much more that we're trying to do, including food is medicine. I'd love to say that because that was my bill. But I want to work with all of you here, and I look forward to hearing your concerns.
Thank you. Now we'll go to the next batch of speakers.
Thank you so much. The next 3, Monique Mormon, Juanita Hodges, and Robert Dinegal.
Good evening, council members, chair. Sorry. Okay. So my concerns first start with the ice and snow conditions. Just the side streets in particular, they're suffering. The turnoffs onto the streets and highways are causing issues where if people are speeding because they don't care, there are definite potential accidents and some that have already happened. So just need a little more help with that. Race car driving along Regency Parkway from Surrey Service Drive all the way to Suitland happens between the midnight hours to in the morning where the kids are coming to school. It has been addressed before by police, but they're still doing it. Drug and gang activity along Walters Lane off of Pennsylvania. Once they see the police there, it kind of like quiets down, but after that, boosts right back up. I also want to talk about the bus lanes. I've talked about that in different meetings, community meetings, but there's still the issue where it's too dark in the areas. I drive, but I'm concerned for the community. The lighting is really bad. And so that's all I have right now. Thank you.
No, thank you. I will maybe tackle one, but want to leave space for my other colleagues to be able to chime in on some of the other concerns. I'll start with your first one around the ice and snow and what plans we have to, I guess, really get us to the next phase. So one of the things as council, we sit as oversight. And so I've already talked to the Director of Department of Public Works and Transportation and have asked them to come before the council as a whole, so that we can understand what is the strategy as we move forward. Historically, as many of you know, at this point, it would have been warmer outside. A lot of this would have melted away. That doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. So other jurisdictions, like in Baltimore and other areas, they're looking at carrying their snow out. There are places that they have invested in warming and melting mechanisms. So really just trying to understand what's their strategy, because to your point, just shoveling it off to the side is still in the roadway, it's still harmful, it still can cause accidents, and so we need to not wait to hope that the weather's going to change. We need to start thinking about a strategy to deal with the current circumstances. And I know the second point around racing, my colleague Fisher wanted to address.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. I was going to say I meet with Chief Nader and our Law Enforcement weekly, and we actually do have legislation on the state and actually here locally to increase fines locally on street racing, and then looking on some more incarcerable time at the state level. So the state allows us to do 6 months. Is sort of that limit that a local can put on something. So I'm actually that bill was submitted this week. And thanks to Councilwoman Ivy, Harrison, Oriata, and Blagay, last year our county led the way in increasing civil fines. So sometimes when us bordering DC, we get a little confused about like, why is this in DC? Fines were at $1,000 in our county since the early 90s. It was this council that had to get all 24 counties in Annapolis together on one page to get the authority from the state that now we can fine people up to $5,000 on a first offense. So you'll see a lot of bills coming into us making things, because something that was fined $100, 10 years ago, that's not $100 now. You know what I mean? With inflation. So you'll see those bills on racing. Councilmember Blagay.
Thank you, and I would like to know more information about Walters Lane. When I first came in, we actually did a focus on that area because of the high crime. We met with the chief at that time, and they had 24-hour coverage. It was expensive. At that time, it was necessary. Now, if you're telling me there's certain hours that they're coming back out, then I would like to know that so we could talk to Chief Nader, because that's right. And so what time are they coming back out?
So anytime roughly between 6 to 8, they'll kind of like move it over to the side away from their visual area, or if they're not there at all for, other reasons, then it's like a flood comes right back.
And I was just saying, move it to what side? If you could just tell me particularly, was it behind the McDonald's or on the side of the shopping center?
So by the side of the shopping center, and then right at that corner where South Hillmar Drive and Walters Lane meet.
Got it. And they just stand on the corner?
They stand there. I have to roll up my windows. I have asthma. But, it's that, and then you can just see them, kind of like that side.
Okay. Can you sorry.
You're fine. We have, our police department has joined us, and so I'm not sure if you have an answer that you want to give on the mic, or if you want to talk offline about the concerns that she has, so that we can make sure that we get them addressed.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Next. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Juanita Hodges, and thank you for being here, councils. I want to address the snow and the ice issue. On January the 28th, January 27th, I called about the Operation Silver Shovel. Got no response. I know it was first come, first served, but no one ever called me back. So I hired someone to clean my driveway and the property at 8600 Brand Court. I called because it's at the end of a cul-de-sac, and every time it snows, the snow seems to find its way in front of my driveway. And it is still there. And I took a picture yesterday. I have the pictures. The snow is 4 feet high in front of my driveway and in front of my mailbox. I also called Public Works, Prince George's County. I've called about 4 times. A supervisor is never in the office. I know they're open from 8:30 to 5. I call at 8:31. There's no supervisor. I call at 11. There's no supervisor. Today I talked to Ms. McFadden. She said she would get Ms. McLean, and I still never got a phone call. I said I need heavy-duty equipment because they sent a contractor with a little teeny pickup truck, and his little snowplow would not get that ice from in front of my driveway. So these concerns about no follow-up, I called 311, they were like, well, that's what it is. I said, what do you mean that's what it is? So I don't understand that. I have names of people that I have
I want to
spoken
get
to.
your address, and then I'm going to have Council Member Harrison start. Can you give us your address one more time?
I can give it to you offline if you like.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm asking you to
It's
give it
not a
out loud. I'm so used to that. I'll pass it to Councilmember Harris.
Yeah. Thank you for coming this evening. And I just want to take a moment to humbly apologize for the mound of 4 feet snow in front of your driveway. I will do my best, too, to reach out to the Department of Public Works once we have the address. If you could put your telephone number, email address, and address on there.
And you want the case number, the
And
311?
the case number is 311 as well.
Okay.
And
you want the pictures?
yes, please. I do know that we do have Mr. Rodney Streeter here. Rodney, please raise your hand. He's with the Department of Public Works as well, and I'm sure he'll be glad to assist you as well.
All right.
But I just want to take a moment to apologize that you had to experience that, especially from the call center of 311. That's not who we are, but we will get this situation solved.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember. And if you could loop it in my office as you work on it. So I will say this, the department's going to have 24 hours to get it up. And if you don't, I will pay someone to come get it up. So you got 24 hours to come get it up. And 311, we will make sure that that complaint is lodged. So thank you.
I didn't know if it was going to reset. It says
It'll
22.
reset.
It says 122.
There you go. Get all your time.
Thank you all for being here. Appreciate the effort and the time you spend here. A couple of things real quick. One, do you work with the state at all on the trash, especially as it pertains to things like Branch Avenue? Really bad, horrific, especially in the summertime. It looks like a trash hole. It's not gorgeous Prince George's when you see that. The other thing is, what could be done about, if anything, about the speeding on Branch Avenue? Route 5, cars are going 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. Is there any way you can put up speed cameras like they have on 210? And I know Branch is a state highway, but so is 210 as well, and they have the portable ones there that they move around. The other thing is, I know there's a balance with housing and approving housing versus attracting businesses. The businesses say, the big businesses, you don't have enough people, bring us more people. But then we approve all these houses, and then the businesses don't come. So what is the plan when they don't come and you have a glut of housing with thousands and thousands of new people, no new hospitals, no new police departments, response times gone up, things of this nature, no infrastructure, traffic is horrific. And then the last thing is, I know on term limits, and it's a big thing with me, but I know on the council, you're allowed to do 2 terms in a number district, then go to, and that's your 2 terms, but then you can go to an at-large position. And I see value in that at-large position, but I don't see the value in going past the term limits that the county voted in years ago that was amended in 2016 by the council. Thank you.
No, thank you for that. So all good questions, and again, I'll divide it up between colleagues so that everyone gets a chance to respond. I'll start with the housing comment that you brought up. Nail on the head. That's one of the issues we've had, is that when we talk about being a bedroom community, a lot of the focus has been on that same narrative. Oh, if we just let them build as much housing as possible, we need the housing, then automatically the commercial is going to follow. And that has been the strategy, and we all can see that that has not worked. So we really do have to be mindful about how much housing without any attached commercial to it. I thought it was a good direction when they moved to mixed development, mixed use, which are some of the centers where you see housing, restaurants. Then that left the code. Now, one of the things I'm big on for the apartment complexes that are coming on near all my metro stations is saying I need to see retail at the bottom level. Like, we can't be giving up this prime real estate at metro stations with no commercial development. There'll be no place to put commercial. So that's why I think there needs to be pivots towards incentivizing development around commercial in a way we haven't. Most of the pilots, everything that comes before us, are incentives for housing development. So we went to the state actually this year. We're asking them for incentives on industry. So we have to get the state to allow us to have those types of incentives. I was trying to get restaurants to come inside the Beltway, and I wanted to do a tax incentive, and they said, you can't. The state has to allow you. So this legislation will give broad power to us locally to say, allow us to give tax incentives for economic development when it creates a certain amount of jobs and a certain amount of revenue. So that was one of the things we're doing around housing. And I know I had Councilmember Harrison and Blagay that both also wanted to respond.
So I'm going to speak, Madam Chair. You just made a good point. A lot of the time, locally, we're subject to third-party approval, which is the state. And as a council, we've been trying to do our best to have more autonomy and power about what we can control locally. When it comes to land use and zoning and policy, as I mentioned, sector planning, neighborhood stabilization planning, master planning, plan unit developments. If you look at the 241 strip malls that we have in Prince George's County, majority of those strip malls were created in the 70s and 80s. Once that strip mall is created, when you look at the type of businesses that come in, right, there's no right of, we don't have that power to tell what they can actually put in that strip mall. So we have to reimagine how we look at these strip malls and these town activity centers, right? In my district, in the southern part of Prince George's County, we have a master plan called Subregion 5 and 6, which I'm currently working on. That was originally written in 1993, meaning we have right of uses on parcels of land that were created in the early 90s when I was 18. Under state law, it tells you you have to conform to the master plan of that zoning. So that created some of the burdens and the things that are holding us back. And until we change those type of things in our own councilmatic districts with the master plans, we got to conform to the master plan. I got to be quiet because I was only supposed to have 1 minute.
Thank you. Councilwoman Blagay.
Thank you so much. Adding to some of the things already said, I wanted to make it clear, one of the reasons that we're having the issues is because we often don't follow the plans that were set. So a lot of times the plans have areas, when we talk to developers, oftentimes they're saying they need high density in one area, but then a developer will go to an area that has nothing but trees and they want to put something there. And that is not within the high density area needed. So one thing we have to do, our actual plans are now shaped, because I've worked on this extensively my first year, where there's town activity centers are supposed to put dense housing in one place. That means everywhere else, like we have people that live in certain areas that don't want dense housing, so don't put them there. So don't put 700 townhomes in the middle of a place that has estate housing, because it's not made for that. We stopped that at Freeway Airport. We even stopped some of that near Six Flags. So the idea is that the council is just pushing housing all the time. That's not true. We actually are trying to follow the plan. We just have to fight with those who are bringing projects that we might not agree with. So I just want to tell you that there are plans. I know Councilmember Harrison is working on a sub-region plan down in the south, but the point is we have to get you all to even help us keep everybody accountable to keep with the plan, because if they keep with the plan, housing will pop everywhere. There are places that are just not made for housing, but housing is a big moneymaker for certain groups, and they come and they want to do it, and they convince you this is needed for density. But density you don't get density of a middle of townhouses in the middle of nowhere. It does not give you any density, because what the retailers want to know what's within a certain mile radius, and that's it. Even if and I've done this, we've actually with Westphalia, I'm not sure how many people live near Westphalia or off of 4. How many people here all live off of 4? Anybody? Okay. So we got some good news coming. We're going to have a really nice grocery store that we're going to probably be announcing in the next 45 days. But the point is, when we met with the people that are looking at the retail, what they want to know, what was in that master plan that's right there. They did not care what was down the street. When we tried to convince them they were housing down 4 all the way down Upper Marlboro, they didn't care. They want to know what's right there. So I'll leave it. Thank you.
And lastly, Councilmember Ivey.
Thank you. And sir, I'm sorry, I missed your name. Okay, thank you. So I was listening to you on a couple things. One, the litter on Branch Avenue. I'm assuming you're reporting it to 311. And when you do, if you could send that ticket number to my office, that's something that we can follow up on and make sure that the litter gets picked up. It's a constant fight, right? So it's not like you're going to report it once and it's going to be clean forever. I know that. It'll start getting litter the next day or the next hour. But we all need to report everything we can to 311 because it does get addressed. And I have to say, it's being addressed a lot faster these days than it used to. Also, you mentioned term limits. I know that can be touchy, and I am an at-large member. But I just wanted to explain the reason for having the at-large seats was to provide space for council members who have timed out, like you said, but still have, so you don't end up with a council with a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. Somebody's got to have some history. And if you have people there who can bring history and not just new people, I think it really does help. So that was the reason for the additional terms for at-large members.
Thank you. And but I will have to say this, that the at-large seat members are not for us as a next stepping stone. They're for representation that's supposed to represent the entire county. It doesn't matter if it's one of us running for it again or a new person running for it. But I do agree with the sentiment that it might be something for us to revisit if we need at-large seats. Next question.
Thank you. These are all great questions. Thank you so much. Our next speakers are Aisha and Malika Jackson, Kenya Butler, and Adrian Jones.
Thank you so much for having this today. First, I'm going to apologize. I have an essential tremor. It affects my voice, so I'll try to be as clear as I can. I'm Aisha Jackson.
Hi, and I'm Malika Jackson.
The reason we're here today is that we are very concerned about speeding that's coming from Marlboro Pike down to Vice 4 Avenue. And I want to thank you, Councilperson Ayala, for doing the study. So we did see the boxes there, so thank you very much for that. My question is, I have been trying to contact your office and other members of the council to find out what was the result of the study. On our street, we have people who walk down the street. It's a one-way street. People are walking their dogs, and I'm sure I met you at the walkthrough that you did last summer, and I expressed that concern to you as well. So we just find it's a safety issue for our community members.
Sure. So part of the problem, part of the concern with the street is that it's one of those streets that almost has an island in the middle. So quite frequently, people are not sure which way to go. So we have that as one challenge. But the other challenge is that people are still on 495 speed when they do this. So not only do we have a street that has a confused direction, we have people coming very fast down that street. So it's like a face-to-face or head-on collision waiting to happen. So, you know, my mom lives in the community. I was her realtor getting her that house, so I feel partially responsible for what's happening over there. Not only that, there is a playground on this street, and there are also people that walk their dogs, the elders in the community, they work out there. I try to speak positive words, but it is a disaster waiting to happen. If you're on that street, you can constantly hear them zoom, zoom, zoom. And it's just a disaster waiting to happen with the fact that sometimes people come like this the same way.
And also, I know our time is over.
No, you spoke together, so go ahead and finish your thought.
I do have a petition from members of the community who are also very concerned about this. May I give this to you?
Oh, yes, I will take it. You just bring it up to me. And Denise from my office, she's going to come up and get your the details of the information, and I will follow up to see the results, to see if we've gotten them and what they are, so I can share them back with the group. And you're right, speeding is a huge issue and concern that we have to figure out how to mitigate. Councilmember Burrows worked to pass legislation last year, because one of the issues we saw, like for example, if a community asked for speed bumps, and that's what they wanted, and then the answer was no for whatever reason, the width of the street, they were never coming back with what can you do. And it was hard to really get a study done. So he tried to work on legislation so we could fix that. So we get it. We might not be able to get every speed mitigation that we want, but we need to get something because we have to work on the problem. So Denise is going to connect with you, and we're going to follow up. You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Kenya Butler, and I live at 4527 Akron Street. That is part of the Deer Park community, and I've reached my limit. My street was plowed Tuesday, as in this week, what was that, February 3rd. And last week, I think they came out twice, a Tuesday and a Thursday, just to salt. So I'm at my wit's end. The other thing I want to say, Council Chair, is that I have reached out to your office several times, and no one has ever called me back. The last time I called was 2024, and I am still waiting for that call to be returned.
Well, I'll say I'm definitely sorry about that. I want to make sure that you get my civic roundtables, because that's one of the things that I try to mitigate, because I have staff answering calls and filtering through emails, and it's unacceptable if they don't get back to you in a timely manner, and so I'll address that as well. But I try to do the civic roundtables every month, just so there's no barrier, that I'm on every month at the same time, so I can hear directly to constituents. And if there's any concerns, like my office is not responding, I can hear it in real time and course correct. So I want to make sure that you get my monthly roundtables, so that you don't even have to wait to go through anyone in my office.
Well, no one answers the phone, or no one calls me back when I leave a message. These are nice, colorful mailers. I see bags with your name on it, but no one has called me back. And I shared this with Denise earlier, and she said to me, well, they no longer work there in that department. I said, well, nobody has the passcode to voicemail. And she said, well, I don't answer that, or I don't know who answers that. So that, to me, speaks volumes.
Yeah.
I'm not here to I don't want to hear something. I want action, and I want someone to call me back when I call them and leave them a message. And like I said, it's 2026, and the last time I called was 2024, and I haven't gotten a response since 2024. I've called before then, but 2025 I was just like, it's no need. And so this snow was my absolute limit, where I said, you know what, let me go ahead and get active and be in the face so that you can see me, you can know me. And Kenya Butler, 4527, Deer Park community. Our streets have not been cleaned. Our streets were just plowed Tuesday of this week. That is completely unacceptable. I've gone in other communities and I've seen pre-treated streets, and I'm not happy. I've been in Prince George's County for now 20 years. I am not a happy camper. And something has to be done. And it's not lip service. I need action.
No, I agree 100%. And I can apologize. I apologize profusely for my staff not getting back to you. Like I said, it is unacceptable. I apologize for this evening. The response you got from my staff member here is not acceptable.
Yeah, it's not.
I will give you my cell number, and everyone can take it. Please text me. I'm not the best with my voicemail, but I respond to text. It is 713 498-5179. And you can text me anytime, weekend, evenings, it does not matter. You can text me first. If you reach out to the office and no response, you can follow up with me. And again, it's 713-498-5179. I just want to get for anyone else that was taking it.
713-498-5179.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And then Denise, can you make sure she gets the virtual Civic Town meetings that we do every month? I just want to make sure that she has the link so that she can join those every month as well. Oh, and sorry, and also Rodney from the Department of Public Works and Transportation, if you also can connect with her, just echoing the sentiment that it is unacceptable that... Okay, I'm glad.
Thank you, council members, for this opportunity to provide this testimony. My name is Adrian Jones, and I live in Upper Marlboro in District 9, and my testimony tonight will be about litter. As the council looks ahead to reviewing the proposed budget, it must make litter removal services a priority. While DPWT performs at a fair level with available resources, in my opinion, they can do better. We often hear DPWT respond to complaints about litter with a party line that as soon as we clean the litter, it's back again the next day. While this is true in some areas, many residents deal with litter that has accumulated for weeks and sometimes months despite multiple requests for removal via the 311 app or direct phone call and email to DPWT. To improve the litter removal outcomes on county roads, the upcoming budget must include allocations for vetting and hiring of local contractors, as well as DPWT rank and file employees, and most importantly, supervisors to perform quality checks to ensure that litter removal is performed timely, completely, and consistently on schedule. To decrease litter on our county roads, the county must also prioritize penalizing litter violators. To catch litter violators, this upcoming budget must fund the addition of litter cameras or the enhancement of speed cameras already located at traffic signals to include litter surveillance. Our litter problems are not limited to county roads and are worse on state roads. When we reach out to our council representatives for assistance with litter on our state roadways, we are frequently directed to a state highway point of contact. This punting does not result in actual litter removal because we do not receive any response from State Highway. This happens often. While the council does not have direct authority to manage litter removal on state roads, we do expect the council to take the initiative to ensure that State Highway performs litter removal on the county state roads timely, completely, and consistently on schedule. We cannot talk about litter without talking about 311. It is not always accessible and often closes litter removal tickets before resolution and without explanation. The upcoming budget must include an allocation to hire a qualified professional to retool, revamp, or otherwise revise the PGC 311 app to ensure that county residents will not have to wait for an extended period for our request for litter removal to be addressed. I thank you for listening to my concerns, and I look forward to continuing the conversation.
Thank you. Councilmember Harrison?
Thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening. If it's possible, can I get a copy of your testimony tonight? We go into budget session on March the 15th. Through March the 15th, we have the Department of Public Works, in Transportation and all the other 27 agencies that come before us. We go through each agency with a fine-tooth comb. We also do a public hearing where community members come out and they do the same thing that we're doing this evening to offer suggestions of what they would like to see in the budget. I would like to utilize your testimony that you used tonight and make these same points when we're going through the budget presentation when they're before us, and some of the suggestions you made about capacity building, inspections, and things of that nature. We also have the Maryland Department of Transportation that comes before us when they do their road show, and they talk about their focus areas as well. And I want to make it clear that I make those points to them that, you made this evening as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Dion Rouse, if you can you make sure you get our neighbor's information? Adrian Jones, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we also put legislation in to increase the fines for littering. And there was also legislation passed on the state level that needs to be enabled that will help actually residents take part in, sometimes people can litter and they're not caught in real time because they're throwing out their window. Nick Charles worked on legislation that if someone catches someone by taking a photo of someone doing something in real time and they transmit it in to their complaint, they get a portion of their fine. And it just needs to be enabled on the county level. Next question.
Thank you. Next, we will have Sheila Fagan, Andrew Brewster Geis, and Robin Bates.
Good evening, Council, Board, and everyone else. I'm Sheila Fagan, and I'm in the Livingston Heights, Oxon Hill area. I have 3 things I want to address, and I'm going to make my points really quick. One is the Pepco bills. I've been paying my Pepco bill regularly, monthly, and even paying more. But when I got the bill this month, I was glad I was sitting down when I opened it. That was totally unacceptable. And I called the number on the bill, and all I get is a tape recorder say, call at a better time when you think we're less busy. Well, I don't know when you're less busy. And it says it's open 24/7. I called 1 in the morning, 1:15, 1:30, 2:15. I lost sleep trying to, call them. This has changed the whole dynamic of my monthly budget. This is not affordable. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is the loose dogs, the loose pit bulls by the Jumbo International store where my sister lives at. She's afraid for me to come over and visit her. 3 dogs have gotten mauled over there, and she sent me a video this week of one of the dogs, and I can't play the video. It's just bloody mess. But the dog didn't survive, and this was the 3rd dog within a year time being mauled over there by loose pit bulls. And she said when they address it to the young guys, they just cuss them out or whatever. They don't even have the dogs on a leash. So that was the other thing. I wanted you to also address this thing about the spear coming to the MGM, how that's going to impact us, who's paying for it, and the traffic that it's going to bring. And several people already talked about the snow and the ice, especially coming around the curves and where the children stand on the corner at the bus stops. You have to literally lift the children over the ice to get on the bus. And there's no clear street for them to walk out on to get on the school buses.
Thank you. And I know Councilman Bourget, you had wanted to address.
Thank you. I would like you to come to my State of the Power on February 23rd. We are this is concerning the high electricity bills. We are going to have PJM come, and this will be at the SARC, which is the Southern Aquatic, and this is Mr. Councilman Harrison District. But I'll give the address where it will be. It'll be at 6 o'clock on February 23rd. And what you're going to hear from PJM is they're going to talk about how if we do not do something before now to address the power generation and the high. We have a lot of electricity coming on from data centers to electrifying our cars, all of those things. We have to make these actions. If we don't, we could be facing blackouts by 2027. So it is really alarming, some of the information brought forth, and I will say that we will have the utilities to explain why people's bills is going up, and I've also asked them to have all of their assistance program. We have all the energy assistance programs will be there. So we do encourage people. I did this last year when I was council member in District 6, and it was, we had a lot of people come out that didn't have PJM. So this is part of educating the community as to what's going on, why our bills are going up. And I want to give the address. It's a Southern Area Aquatic and Recreation Complex, 13601 Missouri, Brandywine, Maryland, 20613. See you there. PJM is the grid that we are on. That's how we get our power. I did not know what PJM until literally last year. We all get our power on a 13-state grid. So what happens, the data centers, all the data centers in Loudoun County, we are all on the same grid. So if they have a building, they got 20 data centers coming in Prince William County, it impacts all of us. When somebody say don't bring it to Prince George's County because it's raising our bills, if you bring it to Frederick County, it raises our bills. If you bring it to Virginia, it raises our bills. Okay, thank you. That's my staff to give you those things, so thank you.
No, thank you for 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
So 6 to 8 p.m. And they have flyers on your, that they're going to, she's waving, she's going to pass out.
Do we have to pass out? Can we pass out the flyers?
Flyers.
Okay, she has them in the back, but if you can make it available, if somebody can come in the back and she'll bring them out so she can pass them out. But we really want to inform everyone. We need our community to be informed because I did not know until I became a council member. So I think you should know too.
Thank you. And Councilman Ivy?
Thank you. I just had a question for you. You mentioned about the pit bulls loose, and you said where they were, but I didn't write fast enough.
Oh, at the Jumbo International Store in Temple Hills, in that whole area, the apartment complex back there where my sister lived at.
So should we be calling animal control?
She has the people that the dog was, the owner has reported it to the policeman. This is the third report of the dog being mauled, and it may be by different pit bulls, but there's several of them loose over there. In fact, when I go visit my sister, I'm very weary in getting out the car, and she's coming to her door and telling me to run, you know, to come in and things like that. It's just crazy and out of control. This shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not a fan.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll look into it with animal control.
And they're just talking about probably increasing fines for some of those violations. So we'll make sure it gets to the right person. Thank you.
And are y'all going to discuss the spear at the MGM?
Oh, I apologize. So the sphere, it's early stages. So as of right now, it hasn't come before us. So those types of details around the project, we wouldn't know. So we knew the announcement that there were bids made for different jurisdictions and that we won out. And then now they'll start to have the conversations between what does that look like for the state, local jurisdictions, you know, how is it going to impact? There'll be traffic studies. There's a lot of things that will happen. So there's a big gap between now and then, and there'll be a lot of points for community hearings and a lot of studies that'll have to be done that'll impact all of those things you mentioned.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And all of those types of meetings, when there's hearings, they'll be on the county website. Next.
Good evening, council members. It's a pleasure to be here, and I thank you all for giving us the opportunity to speak. I would suggest that you have more than one of these listening sessions because you have a lot of people who have a lot of issues. So I'm going to try to be quick because I have a lot of things that I would like for the county to consider. One of them is services for seniors with Alzheimer's here in the county. As you all know, there was a study done about 2 years ago where it showed that Baltimore City and Prince George's County has the highest number of individuals with Alzheimer's. And I have been helping some friends trying to get services, and the services are basically non-existent here in the county. So I'm asking if you all could look into that for budget purposes. I don't know if you have authority to actually look for provide services like respite services. Caregivers are overwhelmed, and it's usually the spouses that are caring for the other spouse. So if you all could look at that for your budget. The other thing is reallocation of leaf collection. There used to be the vacuum trucks that would come into the county to pick up leaves, and that was ended many years ago with Baker. And I think that as we have an aged population here, a lot of elderly people. So I would ask that you all would look into reallocation of that. It was a good program. You all were able to provide the leaf growth. The other thing, I'm just going to go quickly, leaf collection, discount parking for the residents of Prince George's County at National Harbor, property tax reduction for seniors, also 210 enforcement for more stringent enforcement. I know there's a legislation at the state, but it's not stringent enough. Also, I would suggest that you all consult with other states as far as snow removal to come up with strategies, because I've been in the county for 35 years, and this should not continue to be a situation where we have these issues.
Thank you.
And also
I apologize.
revitalization
I
of
have
Branch
to.
Avenue.
Thank you so much, and I apologize. I just want to make sure we have time for everyone. So there's a few points I'll pass to different colleagues, but I'll start off with definitely thank you for mentioning about the services specifically for the communities with Alzheimer's and focusing on their caregivers. So we do sit as the Board of Health, and then there's also an opportunity for us looking at funding that sits in the health department, funding with different nonprofits and organizations that work on that particular issue. So I think that's definitely something that we can look at prioritizing. For the leaf collection program, it's similar to like what happened with the trash, right? When it went from 2 days to 1. Anytime they cut back a service like that, especially during budget time, depending on how much it costs, it's hard to get it fully back into the budget. So I just want to be honest with you on that. But I've realized that that's a huge issue for our senior population. So how can we help our seniors? It's a smaller population than if it was something that had to be countywide. So myself and Councilmember Burrows, we've launched lawn care programs specifically for our senior population where it's completely free, where we come out, we do the basic lawn care services that they need. So if you're a District 7 or 8 resident, you'd be eligible for that program specifically for seniors. And then I will pass it to Councilmember Gabe and then Harrison, and that will be the last response.
I am aware I have some advocates who have reached out to me about those suffering with Alzheimer's and dementia. Dementia Friendly has reached out. We are looking at getting grants fund for those organizations. That's a start. We do not have the complete funding, but I know an advocate is coming to meet with the county executive. I think we're meeting next week to talk about funding for those caregivers with dementia. So I will follow up. I will give my information and my staff give the information over to you so we can keep you informed of that. But we are aware of that. And Nadia, if we could come to this young lady here to give information of the office so that she could get the information about the dementia-friendly work and some of the other things we do. But we will do the funding through nonprofits.
Thank you. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Robin Bates. Was that correct? Yes. I have a program. Hospice of Chesapeake has a dementia care program, and it's called GUIDE. I do know that we have Dr. Rachel Sherman, who is with us right now, and she's a representative of the Hospice of Chesapeake. If you could get her contact information as well.
But the GUIDE program is only for individuals who have Medicare.
Oh,
it doesn't cover everyone. It's very limited.
Okay.
So it's not a program that everyone can use. And so in trying to find services for the elderly here in the community, I would ask that you all give that a priority, even from the trash pickup here in District 7. The heavy trash cans here in District 7 off of 23rd Place, the elderly cannot move those trash cans.
Yeah.
And it's a hardship. So if you all can look to the needs of those seniors, because you have a large number of seniors here in our county.
Yeah.
Okay?
And we'll be probably next week launching a senior hotline specifically for District 7 residents, connecting them directly to different services, because we do realize that there's a huge gap in needs. Some programs work, some don't, and it'll allow us to specifically know what's working, what's not working, and it'll be a hotline dedicated specifically to seniors.
And even the services that you all provide, when you open those services up, they fill up so quickly.
Yeah.
Like the snow removal, the lawn service you're talking about.
Yeah.
You open these up, you need to come up with some type of coordination of services where you can serve a larger amount. Even if you have a volunteer coordination where people come together and brainstorm to try to figure out these issues here in the county.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next question.
Andrew. Is that Andrew? Sorry, your name, sir?
Hello, my name is Andrew Brewster-Geis. I am a resident of Prince George's County. I live in Greenbelt, Maryland. I'm also a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, and we have been working with the No Data Center in Landover Coalition against the construction of an AI data center in Landover, Maryland. Today, I'm here to oppose the construction of AI data centers in all of Prince George's County. I know there's currently a temporary moratorium on the construction of data centers, but we believe they should be made permanent. I've noticed, like, in this council meeting, or excuse me, in this listening session, a lot of people have expressed concerns about rising energy costs. The cost of living is overwhelming so many of us in the county, and data centers will only further increase our energy costs, and they'll drastically strain an already strained energy grid. For example, a data center in Landover would use 820 megawatts, which is more than twice as much energy as all households in Prince George's County. PJM, which was mentioned as the provider of energy in Prince George's County, is forecasting rolling blackouts by next summer. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure everybody in this room is against rolling blackouts. And they also release significant amounts of air pollution, and they use millions of gallons of water per month. And our aquifers are already dropping like 1.5 to 2 feet per year. They will have adverse effects on our energy grid, our air, and our water, so it's not surprising that the majority of Prince George's County residents oppose their construction. Last fall, hundreds of people, including myself, showed up to a meeting for the Landover Data Center Task Force, and it's clear that there was unanimous disapproval of any data centers in Prince George's County. My question is, would the council oppose the construction of any data centers in Prince George's County?
Thank you. I can speak for myself. I've been on the record that I'm against the data center in Landover, and I'm against any data center in Prince George's County. I can't speak for the entire body, but that is my position. Thank you.
See you on the 23rd.
Thank you, everyone. I would respectfully like to ask that when you do come up to the mic to speak, that we want to give everyone an opportunity. We want to hear the answers. We want to allow the council members to speak as well. So once your question is answered, if we can just refrain from going back and forth. They are connecting you with community partners, and we're all just doing the best we can here. So we just want to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to speak coming out tonight, and especially in this weather. Thank you so much. Thank you. Our next speaker will be Brooke Kidd, Carolyn Francis, and Ray Bell.
Good evening, Council. It's so nice to be here today and look at the future of our county. My name is Brooke Kidd. I live in District 2 and work in District 7 as well as District 2. I'd like to ask if there could be consideration for creating a commission to study after-school policy and opportunities and funding. I've had some really great conversations with Chair Oriata about the needs of after-school and summertime programming and the complement to the universal child care vision that she has laid out. It's a critical need in our county. Through a coalition of nonprofits and faith-based communities in the greater Suitland area, we did a survey last year of over 500 households, and 85% of families desire quality after-school and summer programs.
Thank you. We're already working on it. It's so important to do this. So I'm working with Delegate Ashanti Martinez on changing the law around after-school programs. One of the biggest barriers we've seen is that they're lumped in with daycare. So all of the parameters are the same. Even though they're dealing with older children, they have them for less time than daycares. It's probably the biggest hurdle we've seen with our after-school programs. I'm also working with the superintendent and park and planning on piloting a universal after-school program for the first time here in Prince George's County, looking at what similar models they have in Montgomery County with like Excel the Bell, I think it's called. But our goal is to do 100% capacity, starting with our hope is 1 to 3 elementaries and also middle schools. So I'm working with Councilman Burrows, who's focusing on helping get the middle schools up, and I'll be working on getting the elementaries up. So hopefully within the next month or so, we'll be able to announce a launch.
Great. Thank you so much.
Oh, and we'll also be having a roundtable of providers for daycare and after school, and so we'll make sure you're part of that.
Wonderful. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Carolyn Francis. I'm in the Upper Marlboro, Maryland section. I'm in Marlboro Meadows, to be exact. I got a couple of things. One, everybody's talked about the snow removal, so I won't beat a dead horse, but it was the worst that I've seen since I've been living over there. And I live on a street that at the end of the hill is a school. So the cleanup, it is much better than it was now, but what I'm finding is that the snow, there's a lane down the middle of the street, but the snow is piled up. Now, I worry about the postman getting to the mailbox, so that's an issue there. And I was also wondering, is it possible that you all are able to find money in a budget to have maybe some of the kids that need volunteer services to clean the sidewalk, not my land, but the sidewalk, because that is, you know, I'm old. I'm 65. I've had back surgery, so there's a lot of things. I'm able to do some of the work, but the sidewalk in front of the house, I'm just thinking maybe one option for that is to give some volunteer services to some of the high school students to do that, or find a way in the budget to include that as part of a service for Upper Marlboro. So I say that. My second and probably the final one I'm going to have time to say is the funeral home, the cemetery, Forest Hill Memorial Garden Cemetery. I have a loved one that is buried over there. I went over there and there were, what do you call it, trash and debris over there. And I did do a 311, which they cleaned it up. Haven't been back. I went back one time to make sure it was done, and it was done. But they have taken the signs down. You don't know it's a cemetery. It is unkept, so we need someone to take responsibility for that.
I just want to make sure for the second point that I captured it correctly. Are you saying that there's missing signage at the cemetery?
There's missing signage.
Okay, and what's the name of the cemetery?
It wasn't missing when I reported the trash over there. Then they came and cleaned up. The signage is gone. And I don't even know where in that cemetery he's buried. I can't locate him. So if I'm not mistaken, it was on the news the other day too, but it's something that we need to do because we have loved ones over there in that cemetery, and we need to be able to get to it.
And you said Forestville Cemetery.
Forest Hill Memorial Garden Cemetery.
Forest Hill.
It's in Clinton.
Okay.
Brandywine Road, 10901 Brandywine Road, Clinton, Maryland.
And I think Councilmember Harrison will probably want to connect you with a member of his team to get your information, so you can follow up.
Yep. She's already directed it.
All right, sorry. I'm in your head. No.
Good evening, Council and fellow residents of Prince George's County. I'm Raymond Bell. I'm the founder and CEO of the most successful federally funded job training program in the country. We got about 4,000 graduates that work for every major government contractor in the Washington metropolitan area. Lockheed, Northrop Grumman, CACI, Google, GDIT, I could go on and on and on about the places where the students work. They average almost $80,000. 400 of the 4,000 are returning citizens. Their average salary is actually higher than people who've never been in trouble before. I'm not saying that to impress you, but to impress upon you what's possible when we get funding associated with especially young adults. We're in the most educated region in the country. There's no place in this country where there's more people with a 4-year degree or higher than this region, from Northern Virginia to probably NSA right before you get to Baltimore. And young people are leaving high school and college and they're struggling. And honestly, I don't think the community college can fix it, because a lot of the folks that come to me, guess where they're coming from? They're coming from 2- and 4-year colleges, and they're struggling to find work. So they need mentoring, coaching, ongoing, and they need organizations who build partnerships so people can get to work. People's lives change when they meet me and the people in my organization. One of my favorite council members in Prince George's County, you guys are all as well, is Shayla Adams Stafford. As soon as she got in office, she funded 100 young people from her district. That's great for her district because they get free CDL training from my organization, Class A and Class B, IT and unarmed and armed security officer training. The problem for the rest of the county is when the kids come up to me and ask about getting into class, if they're not in District 5, I have to turn them around. So I would like for you to tell me what I should be telling them young people when they come up to me, ask me why are only District 5 residents eligible for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you say the name of your program? I think it's HOPE, right?
Yes, it's HOPE Project, a.k.a. the Harvard of the Hood.
Okay, HOPE Project. Thank you for that. And I do know, because Councilmember Burrows is not here, so I definitely want to plug for him. He's put millions of dollars into a jobs program that he's launching with training and 100% job security for over 300 kids in his district. And so I do think what sometimes happens is different districts might be partnering with different organizations, but I definitely think you should still meet with every council member to advocate what your program is, what the service is, how they are different. I also have put $1 million for District 7 jobs program that will be launching in a few months as well. So I do think that there's programs for different districts based on the funding that we can allocate and fight for. But your program sounds amazing. Shayla Adams Stafford has said amazing things about your program. So I'd love to know about it and see how I could loop you into our program, and I'm sure other council members feel the same.
Yes, please add me to the list. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have Leonard Gore Jr., Quentin Brown, Jenna Jones, and Maya Gudera.
Hello, fellow residents in the area, council chair, council members. My name is Leonard Gore Jr. I'm actually within District 7, council chair, Crystal Rydai. Thank you very much for the roundtables and so forth. But one thing I want to bring to attention is following up on the economic development, transforming neighborhood initiative. I would urge you, please bring that back. Please bring that back. It really worked. It can help spur development around our metro stations, and it will work if there's the will and the revenue to do it. Example, I don't know how many of my fellow residents know about the Southern Green Line Station Area Plan. It's an absolutely wonderful plan that was put into place. It involves the communities of Camp Springs, Suitland, and Hillcrest Heights. We actually have, as an example, we have federal presence within that plan. We have the Census Bureau, Maritime Intelligence Center, NOAA, Satellite Operating Center, and we even have the Smithsonian. The great assets. These are highlights. One thing I want to bring to your attention is like take Suitland Town Center. Suitland Town Center had 3 phases. One phase was to bring in housing, which they have, the townhomes, bring in a senior center, but we're supposed to have retail and restaurant and a hotel. Something happened to the funds. We don't know what happened to it. They were taken. I don't know what happened to it, but it's supposed to be basically a highlight. So I just want to bring that to your attention because the Transforming Neighborhood Initiative really worked and is really great. A lot of people loved it, and it was just taken away. I would just ask you as a final question, what do you think of areas like Suitland, Hillcrest Heights, Temple Hills, and Camp Springs as municipalities? There's a lot of power in that. There's packed power and revenue in that. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Thank you. And I want to give kudos to our county executive. So she's already announced that she's bringing T&I back.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so she
Wonderful.
realized it was a great program. Didn't matter that it was started by another county executive,
Right.
but she's bringing it back. So I'm not sure when it'll come online, but communities
Okay.
should see it soon.
Okay.
And the funding for the commercial side of the Suitland development is still there. I've met with the redevelopment authority and the revenue authority that are basically run those projects, and the RFPs for some of those different parcels have already been put out. So things are moving now. They were stalled, so I understand the frustration of the community. I was frustrated as well. And then I've asked them to plan a town hall to update the entire community of where we are in the process, what's the estimated timeline, so that the community can start being looped back in.
Oh, wonderful.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, request for proposals, that's what RFP means. And I apologize, one more announcement. I was notified that, I know some people might be running for office, but this is an official county event, so just be mindful not to pass out literature here. So thank you.
Good evening, Quintina Cornegay Brown. Thank you, council members, for being here. I believe I'm sure I'm the right person. She said Quinta, but Quintina, thank you. A couple of things have already been addressed, but I would like to hone in on a couple of things. One is Department of Public Works and Transportation. We know that the snow removal is not the best, but I believe in southern part of the county where we live, in Clinton, we need help. There's not enough resources and money in the budget, so that needs to be addressed. Secondly, I am not happy with what I've heard from DRC Road, and that is special courtesies to other districts that had the county council, the county executive with special courtesies going into different areas for clearing the snow to driveway aprons, pulling our resources out of the command center to drive people around during a snow emergency. That is not acceptable. We pay taxes just like everyone else. I didn't get special courtesy for someone to come and clear my driveway. So that needs to be addressed, please. The other thing is, residents, did you know that we also have a 311 in-house service? We have a 311 for the public, but there's a 311 in-house. So there is no reason why some of those concerns couldn't be addressed.
Thank you.
My time is up?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Harrison wants to address your concerns around 311.
First of all, thank you for being here. I'm sorry you had to experience some things during this recent snowstorm. But what I want to say is, going into this next budget, it is going to be very critical that we look at how we build capacity in 311. I'll just be the first one to tell you, sitting as a county council, we work pretty well together, and we work well with our agencies. But we realize that we have to do something about 311 and stand it up so it can be successful. And so that's going to take investment, that's going to take dollars, that's going to take operational staffing, that's going to take technology. It's going to take all these things that we are going to have to get micro laser and focused on making sure. This snowstorm taught all of us a lot. When you look at the Department of Public Works and Transportation, you look how our county's grown over probably 500,000 residents in the last 30 years. We start to realize that we need to make sure that we're building capacity in our infrastructure, in our snow removal operations, our trucking, the type of equipment we have, and I think that we are laser focused in that. I share your same concerns. I'm a current council member. I was blocked in, right? I think all of us have experienced some sort of setback during this last snowstorm, regardless if you're elected or you're not, or you're a public servant or you're a community organizer. We all did not get discriminated against when it came to this snow. And so, honestly, we had an ice storm with freezing temperatures, and I'm not here to make excuses because what you said is very valid. But what I am here to tell you is that we're focused on fixing those things. And I apologize you had to experience those things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members, and thank you for this opportunity to speak. I have one of my 4-Hers just giving you, one is a photo album from the 1970s about 4-H, and then another one is a congressional award that was given to Prince George's County 4-H. So my name is Jenna Jones, and I am with the University of Maryland here in Prince George's County. What's really special about me working with Extension in Prince George's County is not only do I work here and live here, but I grew up here. I want to start by explaining what Extension is, because many people benefit from it without realizing it. University of Maryland Extension is the bridge between the university and the county. We take research, expertise, and resources from the university and bring them directly into our neighborhoods, schools, libraries, and community spaces at little to no cost to families. Extension exists to serve the public, and 4-H is one of the main ways we do that for our youth. In Prince George's County alone, dozens of libraries, schools, and community partners reach out to us every year for programming, STEM clubs, robotics, gardening, leadership, and career exploration. And let me give you a few real examples. At Oxon Hill Elementary, we supported a robotics club where youth did not just learn how to build a robot, but they also learned about engineering careers, teamwork, and problem solving. At our local libraries, we host green garden clubs where youth can learn what plants need to grow and how food system works. You also see our youth right here in our county, who one is here representing us tonight, that represented us at Dr. Jill Biden's Girls for Change initiative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate. And did you want these back?
Yes.
Yeah, I assume so.
I'll come get it.
Oh, okay. One more councilman wants to see them before we. But thank you.
Thank you, Rod.
And I'm glad you included the one from my husband, Glenn Ivy.
Hello, good evening, council and community members. My name is Mai Gadara. I am a student at Oxon Hill High School, and I would like to speak in support of the University of Maryland Extension. Through 4-H, I have been given countless opportunities that have shaped my character and broadened my perspective on youth leadership. These opportunities included visiting the White House twice, once for the turkey pardoning and again for the Girls Leading Change event hosted by Dr. Jill Biden. Experiences like these showed me that youth voices matter and that leadership has no age limit. 4-H has also allowed me to work closely with animals through my livestock club, where I developed essential life skills such as nurturing, emotional intelligence, hands-on responsibility, empathy, and patience. These lessons go far beyond the barn. They shape how I show up in my everyday life. Being a member of the Maryland State 4-H Council for the past 4 years has connected me with like-minded youth across the county and the state, creating more than just friendships. It created a family. Through 4-H, youth in our county are given the opportunity to grow mentally and emotionally while developing into confident, capable leaders. The 4 H's in 4-H are head, heart, hands, and health. They represent the values that guide us as we grow within our community, our clubs, our communities, our country, and our world. This strong foundation doesn't just build individuals. It strengthens our entire community by preparing our strong, compassionate leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
Good evening, council and community members. I am Lisa Gadara. I am the mother of Maya Gadara and the mother of other youth that are part of 4-H and through Extension. So I teach agriculture here in Prince George's County, and I'd like to speak in support of the University Extension. Urban agriculture is increasingly recognized as an important strategy for strengthening food and security in the urban areas. By producing more local and fresh foods and communities can improve overall health, promote healthier eating habits, and reduce reliance on outside food sources. The Prince George's County, there is growing interest in protecting farms and gardens within the community through the University Extension. So I'm just here to speak also on behalf of the University Extension and hope that you'll reconsider the closing of the building. Thank you. Is that correct? Or there's something going on with you. Jenna?
I don't recall a closing of a building, but I don't think that was something we'd have control over.
Okay.
But we'll definitely, yeah, it might be a grant reduction. Okay. Okay.
90% reduction in the grants.
Okay. Thank you. We'll make a note of that. Because I was like, a building? I was like, I'm not familiar with the building.
It's a whole system.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Ethan Havain, Lorraine Griffin, Amara Cross, and Daniel Donahue.
Good evening, council members. My name is Ifan. I'm a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, also fighting against the AI data centers in Prince George's County. And after hearing maybe hundreds, thousands of residents talk about what they want, it's clear that the people, they want a ban on hyperscale AI data centers. They don't want them somewhere else and here, but not here. We keep hearing that if PG doesn't get the data centers, then other counties will, and that the revenues will go there, but we will still have the same problems like the utility rates. And I'm here to calm your fears because I've talked to the organizers and people in Charles County. They're organized and they're ready to mobilize and fight against any data center. If you're worried about Montgomery County, you shouldn't, because hundreds showed up this past week to tell their county exec no data centers. In fact, all of Maryland is standing up, even Virginia residents, and any data center proposed in PG County will face heavy resistance. You have an opportunity to stand with the people and show that PG County doesn't fold to the interests of big tech billionaires. Just imagine the positive feedback you would receive being one of the first counties in Maryland to institute a ban. And so I'm asking, County Chair, would you be willing to put forward legislation to make the data center pause permanent? And the other council members, would you be willing to support a full ban? Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess, echo the sentiments. I'm 100% against the data center in Landover and anywhere in the county. I support that, but I'm only one vote, one voice. I try to be as transparent with the community as I can. So I just appreciate your advocacy and pushing and holding people accountable, and I think you all should continue to do that, so then we can get to 6 votes on that issue. Thank you.
Good evening to council members, residents, and county staff. Thank you for this forum. I'm Ms. Griffin of Suitland. I wanted to mention 4 issues. One, I'd like to encourage council members and county agencies to do more to provide outreach to Latino residents about government events, programs, and services. If those can be put in Spanish, it would be great, because I think the need is critical. 2, homeless services should be a priority in the fiscal year 2027 budget. There are way too many people in the county who don't have stable housing, and I think it should be a critical need. 3, I feel student truancy, middle and high school in this county, is huge. Every day I see so many kids not in school when school is in session that day. I hope the council will ask the county school leadership what they're doing to prevent truancy. And 4, the Prince George's County Memorial Library System does many great things for residents, but its current administrative leadership is questionable. Library staff are represented by the UFCW Local Union 1994. The current library leadership has allowed the union contract to expire for the last 7 months. I would ask the council members of the Education Committee to ask library leaders why they feel it's okay to waste county residents' money by paying DC lawyers and federal arbitrators because they have prolonged this contract negotiation. Thank you.
Thank you. I will make sure that that question around the labor contracts is brought to the committee. So we made note of that. I wasn't aware. I don't believe the Shayla Adams Stafford, who chairs that committee, was aware of that. So thank you for mentioning it. I'll take 2 points, and I know Councilmember Fisher would like to answer as well. Truancy. So we did a task force on truancy last year, finally got the recommendations. So this year we'll be working on implementation, because you're right, truancy has been a huge issue. So we have recommendations now, both state changes, school board changes, work that actually could be done with the state's attorney's office, and then resources that we need to put forth as well. The full report, you can see it on the County Council website. Homeless investment. So last year we put in the budget funding to revamp Promise Place, which is the youth shelter, to Shepherd's Cove, the women's shelter, and then also to build a new warm night shelter. And then lastly, there's money in the budget to also build and add beds for the men's shelter. So there is funding across the board for those homeless shelters that exist. And I'm currently trying to work on getting the first of its kind, a senior homeless shelter, focused just on our senior population. Councilmember Fisher.
Thank you. Ooh, sorry, I haven't got the mic in a second. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about, you said about Latino outreach and the Latino community. So my district, District 2 in our county, we're on the other side. So I'm like the Hyattsville area. I represent the largest Latino population and immigrant population in the county. And I will tell you that a couple of things, everything that my office individually does, I would say I have a huge number, is bilingual and bilingual staff. I will also let you know that our entire council complies with our language access laws. So there are laws when people call us, and not just for Spanish, but for other languages and how we put material out. We do that. We also have a lot of sponsorships and outreach to our Latino community, especially through our nonprofit grants like CASA and other things that we work with. I will also tell you, I had a really good conversation with the new, if you all don't follow the Annapolis politics, we have a new Speaker of the House. Her name is Jocelyn Peña-Melnick. She's the first Afro-Latina speaker in our history, and she's from Prince George's County, lives in the county, but also represents parts of Anne Arundel. Her and I talk a lot about streamlining outreach to that community. I will tell you that I think one thing that we have to embrace also in our county is that the Latino community does not just live in District 2. It is throughout the county, and I know our at-large council members that are here are committed to outreaching, and I know they do the same work. And I think a lot also rests in PGCPS in our schools, right? Prince George's County school enrollment for Latino, I think it's almost at 40%. 40% of the school system is Latino, right? And so, and growing, and the birth rate, at least I can tell you in my district, is higher per family of the children. So I think it's it takes all of us. I will say that I think I carry a decent load of it, but I think it takes all of us, and I think we work together very, very hard. And I will also say, I think in the last, with ICE and everything going around with ICE in our community, we've had to be careful. I know Councilwoman Ivy and myself and Councilmember Olson, we had a lot of Know Your Rights forums, but we have to do them virtually, and it might not be a room like this because not everyone in our community feels safe to even come together in a room like this, right? We have to kind of recognize the moment. So you might not see everyone in our community because they don't feel comfortable being at the community center tonight and on camera and live. It doesn't mean that the council is not talking to that community. We are, and we find ways to do it that feel safe for them. Sometimes it's more virtual, and sometimes it's at the school, and it's very different. Even in my district now, we do dismissal inside the school instead of outside the school with the amount of Latino children I have. So I just wanted to give you a little context. Thank you.
Hello all, I'm Amara Crooms, I'm a District 9 resident. I actually wanted to start with a really earnest thank you to Council Chair Oriata on your recent decision to not to forward the county executive's legislation that would have brought data centers into our rural and agricultural zones. I feel like often y'all hear from us when there are problems, so I want to make sure that I really held up your example of leadership and advocacy on the issue. Thank you for standing with us. We see it. On to my question. My question is on the future of development and infrastructure, particularly in South County. I believe Councilmember Blagay earlier raised that she would like to see, some of us in the public help to hold developers accountable when they make promises and then, we end up with the Royal Farms instead. I'm wondering what advice y'all might have to members of the public to see, to ensure that those promises are upheld. Is there something that you would like to see from us?
Oh, Councilmember Harrison.
Crooms, how you doing, sir? Come on, step to the microphone.
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
So, you've been very vigilant at showing up at a lot of the community meetings that the District 9 team has been hosting about community planning and zoning as we move forward. I've told you, part of the problem is we have outdated zoning that is not compatible to the harmonious things that we want in our community. Once a parcel of land has a legal right of use, that is the entitlement on that parcel of land until you change that zoning. You're advocating, as I'm advocating, to make sure that we rewrite those plans in a way that creates balance and equity. So you've already answered that question, my brother.
Sounds good. All right.
But I like the question you had on the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you, and Councilmember Blagay.
Yes, thank you so much for recognizing it. We do ask that it's good. We have we're getting increased involvement from our residents. I know one of the things is that many people concerned about bringing townhomes everywhere. When I had the townhome pause in certain areas bill, we really had almost not many community members come out, and I got pounded by the developers on that. So I just want to say for those, for a lot of legislation, We'll try to see what we could do to get the word out, but when we ask people to please come out, some people feel intimidated or don't want to come out, but we do need them to come out so people can see that it's not just us. Sometimes when we push back, it's helpful to know that the community is behind us, and you have been engaged, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Harris?
Mr. Crooms, you didn't get off that easy, brother. As you know, when a pre-application process has been filed through Maryland National Capital Park and Planning, that is your time to enter into the application process to be a person of record. Once that application process closes, that gives you the opportunity to testify in front of the council based upon the testimony that you've given at the planning board hearing. So I would encourage you, if you see those postings on the side of the road where those parcels of land are that have hearing dates, if you're intrigued to know what has happened, then sign up to be a person of record, whether you're for it or against it, but you are a person of record if you engage in that process.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Thank you, council members, for having this listening session. My name is Daniel Donahue, live at 16401 Old Marshall Hall Road, Accokeek, Maryland. Lifelong resident. First question I have is about what are you going to do about fixing the roads in lower Prince George's County, specifically Accokeek? I rode on better roads in Afghanistan than the road from our farm into Charles County. It's a fact. It's sad. But I'm really here concerned about this, as the president of the Prince George's County Farm Bureau, concerned about the proposed reduction in county support to the University of Maryland Extension in Prince George's County by the Park and Planning Commission. The Park and Planning Commission wants to reduce the budget from $208,600 to $20,000. It's about a 90% cut. Change the priorities, they say. In FY24, there were 8,500 direct participant programs and 14,000 residents were assisted or supported by the extension service in every council district in the county. The 4-H program that you heard about a few moments ago received congressional recognition by Congressman Ivey for their STEM excellence. Also, it supports stuff for agricultural and environmental protection. Agriculture section in the county generates $22 million in income. Also, it takes care of soil and water because there's no development there. There were 4,679 nutrient management plans that the county office helped work on for the county this past year, and farms are required to do a nutrient management plan if you have an excess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for joining us, my friend. It's good to see you from Accokeek. I just wanted to take a moment to explain to you about the road situation. As you know, there's a number of roads, there's state roads, there's county roads, and there's some private roads as well, all within a community. In Prince George's County, the Department of Public Works and Transportation, each year we fund about $35 million for roadway resurfacing and repaving in that agency. If you break down the 499 square miles, and you know District 9 covers about 40% of the landmass of Prince George's County, as you know that $35 million is not going to cut it, right? That's approximately about maybe $3 million for each district if you really add the at-large members as well to cover that. So this one snowstorm, just right now, no one wants to hear this number, but we've already probably almost spent $25 million just trying to clear snow and ice. That's how expensive these things are. And so if you have if you have about 62% of your budget going to education, 19% to public safety, 3.8% to the library systems in the community college, 7% to 27 county agencies, and 10% to pay your government bills, you realize the only rhyme or reason that is next is to diversify our tax base in a way that we bring in more revenue. And that's what we're focused on. But thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
And I remember the road where I live on now, still the same one, when it was paved as a boy.
And I want to say that that $20 million road intersection off Route 5 that we've been focusing on at the corner of Clinton Four Corners, you know that that intersection hasn't been touched since 1967, and it's finally getting a $20 million overhaul. So we're trying the best we can do.
Thank you.
And
Thank
what
you all.
road was it again?
Thank you. Up next, we have Chelsea Morgan, Lolita Walker, and Frank Kahan.
Should we go in that order, or is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay. Hi, thank you so much. I am Lolita E. Walker from District 9. I live in Accokeek, Maryland. First, want to say thank you so much for this forum. It really has been very informative, and it helps to outline myths versus facts. So thank you very much for the forum. The question I have is, as many of you have noted, given the county's current budget deficit and our heavy reliance on residential property taxes, can you talk to us a little bit how the council is aligning the land use decisions, the strategies for economic development that you talked about, and accountabilities to grow the tax base and reduce the development timelines in a clear way? I know you're doing work on it, so hoping you can help to educate the community on that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll start and let my colleagues chime in. So all the above. So just had a meeting today with our committee director, our lawyers, our policy division on working on how can we streamline the development process, working on incentives, diversification, working on if it's zoning overlay zones, or what is it that we need to do to prioritize the right type of development where we want it. So I think the first step always for me is sometimes you could just pick a policy and put it out and no rhyme or reason, but I really believe in like sitting down, looking at best practices, looking at all the tools we currently have, figuring out what legislation we need authorized on the state level. So we do have pieces of legislation right now that we're moving on the state to give us broader authority on the local level. We've already done some legislation, like one when we knew we wanted to push abandoned and vacant properties like in DC. So for example, the Legend Strip Club that's been abandoned forever, and they have no want to do anything with the property because it doesn't cost them much. They're like, we can just let it sit on the books. We don't care, we don't live here. So the reality is, how do we push them? You hurt their pockets. So we went to the state, we said, we want to be able to charge them more for vacant property, 2.5 times the rate of normal taxes. So we got the legislation. Now we went to enact it. Now here's the caveat. Most people know that our anything above a certain amount that like we collect has to go to education. Can't go to the general fund. So we had this push and pull. We reached out to the Attorney General. Can it not? So now we're going back to the state saying we want you to ensure that if we enact this legislation, it can go to the general fund. So we have resources to spend on other things. So it's a multifaceted strategy. We're working with the state partners and local level and Economic Development Corporation and all the partners to give us all the tools to do that. Councilmember Fisher, and then last, Harris.
I'll just be short because my district's not in 7, 8, or 9, but I would also say I think each council member finds their path for their district as well, right? In District 2, we have authored a different, I just finished the West Hyattsville sector plan. If you know the metro, I'm on the Green Line, so I can get to Crystal actually without stopping. We can connect to each other through the Green Line. And that plan, the community was involved in it. I also think it's building those relationships with different housing. I've had 2. One is finished, the Sovereign, and number 2, Amazon Housing Affordability Fund has spent millions of dollars in my district through relationships. Through getting them to actually want to come into that district. You know, if you've been to University Town Center, of all black male-owned restaurants, I think it's been a lot of work, and I also don't think it's one person. I don't just take the credit for that. It's my previous council member and the previous council member. So I also think there has to be a district, at least my opinion, there's a district focus, and I work with my municipalities to create that economic vision for District 2.
Thank you. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you. I want to just talk about breaking down silos between the agencies. With the partnerships between the Economic Development Corporation, the Department of Permanent Inspection and Enforcement, along with the Department of Environment, along with the Chamber of Commerce, which is not an agency, but it really speaks to the economic portfolio and the vision that we're working on, along with the vision driven by the county executive, and then creating opportunities through our flagship programs that we are really honed in on to actually speed up that process, right? And I think that's what is happening now, is really getting people under one roof that make these decisions to cut the red tape, stop the bureaucracy, and improve the opportunity. Another thing that they're doing is through the special exception process, they're looking at shortening the time frame, but adding the opportunity for more public participation in that process. That way, we can get some things moving faster.
Thank you. Next question.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Cahan. I live in Accokeek. I'm here to invite the council person from District 9 to come out to our Greater Accokeek Civic Association. We have contacted you on several different occasions with negative results. So hopefully you'll find some time. Thank you very much.
I want to say I will accept your invitation, and furthermore, I've enjoyed picking up trash on the side of 210 with the Accokeek Civic Area Association, so they know who I am. I like that one, though. Thank you.
I like that one also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just for the record, I've been. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have Mark Anthony, Jawan Russell, J. Russell, and Samantha Howard.
Yes.
Testing 1, 2, 3. My name is Mark Anthony Johnson, Sr. The people matters. What is in it for us? In these times, I see as Ecclesiastes 3. To everything there is a season. Prevent child poverty. For us, a child is born. A, B, C. Ancestry, building change. Masteries, demonstrating Maryland stories. Being proactive for Juneteenth in the federal, state, local, and municipalities world and earth. I survived 1 heart attack, 6 stents, and 2 strokes. 1 mini and 2 full strokes. I was born in January 1963 in Washington, D.C., and located in Prince George's County, Maryland, in 1965. I have 9 children 21 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. I lived in Prince George's County in K through 12 doing busing. My goal is to now share my story and learn your story to become one our story, more. God bless the people and life through aphasia diagnosed survivor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? All right, well, I don't have really any questions. I just came to introduce myself. My name is Jamar Russell. I have a writing freedom program that's going to be held at Creative Suitland. Now, I've been selected to run this program by Safer Stronger Together, which is a combination of DJS, DHS, and DPSCS. Now, I'm a former incarcerated individual, so I'm looking to get the population in Capitol Heights, District Heights, in that area specifically, so that I can go ahead and teach them transformative literature, mentoring, and personal development. See, I wrote my freedom, so I know the power of words. I also self-published 12 books since I've been out, 8 while I was in, so I know how and what to do to be able to give them the education to create digital products, products for themselves, and then also how to, face life and make better choices. I've been home for 2 years now, and I'm also a county employee, which I actually mentor the youth in District 2. So I'm doing the work, part of the prison ministry with Reed Temple, which one of my fellow people were in there, and I also work with LT Balboa with Men in the Gap dealing with returning citizens. So I'm very much involved. I just would like the opportunity that once I give you all the flyers that you can share it, so that I can get the referrals, because that's what I'm lacking now. I also have a flyer also for one of my colleagues that has Mud Life, which is also teaching masonry to the population. And the ages will be 13 to 24. So for anybody that's interested, please holler at me so I could get people signed up. All right? Thank you.
And you said you had the flyers with you?
I have them digitally because just running around today, okay?
And no worries. What's the name of your organization again?
Well, I'm Conscious Growth, but the program is Writing Freedom.
Writing Freedom?
Yeah. So I sent 2 to you to the number. I sent flyers to you, and I'll be reaching out to each of you so to make sure that you have that. And any type of way that you can spread that message, I would appreciate it. Newsletters, anything like that?
Got it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Gracias por tomarse el tiempo para escuchar mi mensaje. Mi nombre es Samantha Howard y soy residente del Distrito 9. No existe representación latina en este consejo y no lo ha habido por mucho tiempo. Al mismo tiempo, Asuntos Latinos ha sido en práctica inactivo durante los últimos 8 meses, sin liderazgo dedicado ni un punto claro de acceso para residentes latinos. En nombramientos recientes, el Consejo, residentes latinos sí presentaron su candidatura y fueron ignorados. Esto no es un problema de talento, es un patrón de decisiones. Por eso mi pregunta es, ¿qué responsabilidad asume el Consejo del Condado por el hecho de los residentes latinos no tengan representación legislativa, a pesar de que los candidatos se ofrecieron para servir? Y mirando hacia adelante, ¿utilizarán el Consejo su autoridad de nombramiento para restaurar una representación latina intencional? El Consejo abogará por una función activa de asuntos latinos con liderazgo y visibilidad reales. I will now repeat this message in English. My name is Samantha Howard, and I am resident of District 9. I want to be clear from the onset that I'm raising this concern with County Council while fully understanding that the County Executive's Office is a separate branch of government. That being said, the lack of Latino representation in Prince George's County leadership cannot be explained away by this separation. In recent council appointment processes, experienced Latinos did apply and were overlooked, and this is not a pipeline program, it's a pattern of decisions. What we see today is no Latino leadership at cabinet levels and executive branch, Latino affairs dormant without dedicated leadership, advisory, or focus, and decisions by county council not to appoint Latino residents when opportunities existed within within the legislative branch. So my question is this: what responsibility does the county council take for the fact that Latino residents currently have no legislative representation, despite qualified candidates stepping forward? And moving forward, will the county council use this appointment authority to restore intentional Latino representation? Will the council advocate for active, fully funded Latino affairs function within real leadership and visibility within the office of the county executive? And my time is up.
Thank you. Councilmember Fisher? Hi, Ms. Howard. So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's been a long time.
It has.
I would say, I'm missing the name of one of the new DCAOs in my head, so I'll follow up with you about it. Who I just worked with, but who is Latino, so I will give you that. But I can't speak to the decisions of the fourth floor. I can speak to our branch. I would say, for me, any way that there's a chance to be in community, to provide representation, to be for the Latino community, I am there, and I think everyone on the council is there. And so I think if there's any, you know my office really, really well, any board position, whether it was for our cannabis boards, everything, I put everything out, and I would just love names to participate. I would say that I think it's all about engagement, and I do my best to engage. I think we all can do an even better job, all of us as a council, but I think pathways for that would be helpful. But I don't know about the other things that you talked about people being denied and things like that without specifics, but I've been in our community for a long time. I'm an ally for a long time. I love my Latino community, and I think that at least I can say, especially here publicly, that I've given every inch of my public service career. So I think anything that we can do, I think we're here to do that. And I will say that when there was the last appointment for the school board seat, it was an issue where I and a few other council members were very vocal that we were upset that that seat was not given to someone from the Latinx community. We asked the acting county executive at that time, Tara Jackson, to not make that appointment, to allow for the new county executive to step in, because she had committed to making sure that she appointed someone that represented that community, and I voted no on that appointment for that reason. I know we have to do better, so there are times where there was an opportunity. The council was very vocal about pushing back on the last county executive for not making those choices. And our current county executive has committed on record to wanting to fill more appointments with representation. I also did want to say that we have elections coming up, for the council. I have we're not allowed to talk politics for Council Oriata, but I will say I've endorsed someone who is Latino to replace me in my council seat. I think you'll see a lot of Latino candidates for council seats, and I think it takes, I can speak for everyone up here. We grind and work hard too. Anyone that wants to run, filing deadline is February 24th. Put your name in and run.
Thank you. I anticipate your support on my 2027 OMB submission of a fully funded Latino Affairs office within the office of the county executive.
Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next person, S.R. Hartwell, Bill Anderson, and Liz Johnson. And we are on the home stretch, okay?
Hi, good evening. My name is Stacy Hartwell, District 8, and I am a fervent supporter for environmental and climate justice. Prince George's County is suffering from countless environmental issues. Data centers, as everyone well knows, is at the top of the list. But one issue I want to bring up this evening that we're not talking about that is pressing is the 40,000 gallons of raw sewage that for the past 2.5 weeks has been dumping into the Potomac, our source for water. And I would like to know how we are coordinating with DC Water, and it's so cute they have this little pool over there. How we are coordinating them to talk about how we can best protect our residents around this nationwide, it was on the late night show. The nation is talking about this massive dump of excrement into our drinking water.
Thank you. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you so much for coming this evening. I see that. I know we have people from WSSC as well. I serve on the Transportation, Infrastructure, and Energy Committee, subcommittee of the council. And I'm sure Mr. Denoga, who is the chair, will call a meeting to get a briefing exactly to what you're speaking about, okay? It's very concerning. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Before I did anything on the county council, I was a plumber, okay? So I had my own plumbing.
You were very wealthy.
I had my own plumbing business. I changed her garbage disposal way before she was on the county
I used to be in the plumbing business, too. I used to work for Owens Corning Fiberglass. So
okay, yeah, I'm
I know,
familiar.
yeah.
So it is a concern. You're absolutely correct. We've never seen anything probably like this of our lifetime.
It is the largest disaster, wastewater disaster in the history of the country.
And we are probably more than likely, right, Madam Chair, going to have an entire briefing on this, and we will have the CEO of WSSC and the Washington Water Authority too.
I have 48 seconds left. I would just like to mention another little talked about issue, and that is air traffic that has been diverted from over in Alexandria to over on our side of the river. And I don't know how we're letting this happen, who we need to see, but it needs to be equitable. They made provisions for the north so that it would accommodate the wealthy residents that live in Potomac, McLean, etc. And they have shifted this from Alexandria, where the demographic is very different than ours in this county, to here. And what are we doing about this? Because it is sincerely impacting our property values, our mental health, the air quality, on down the line.
Thank you. Councilmember Blagay.
Thank you so much. You've been always an advocate. Let's give her a round of applause. You've been always an advocate, and I appreciate working with you before. But I want to say I will talk to you directly, because a lot of this are serious environmental issues that we need to sort of overhaul overall. That means clean water issues. This means air traffic issues, air quality issues. We have one of the lowest, we're graded low for air quality in this area.
An F.
Yes, exactly. It is actually an F.
Association has given us an F.
An F.
Consistently.
Right. And so we don't have a working EPA right now, which we're going to address that. So I would just tell you this. I'm going to sit down and talk with you directly, because a lot of these issues are surrounding issues that we really need to get on. I put an environmental roundtable when I was District 6 council member together, and I'm going to do that. We're going to have an environmental discussion, because what people don't realize is how many of these environmental issues are actually impacting our health. Mm-hmm. And something like the dumping and that wastewater, that's one of those things. Some of the ways they clean it can impact our health. And those chemicals coming into our bodies leads to the cancers. All of those things. All of the things that we have going through our bodies, some of the things that we're dying from, we're getting sick from, some of the chronic diseases, there's direct correlation between that and cancers. And I would be honest, that's why people brought up bottle issues, like a lot of the plastic that we have, that we put in everything. So this wastewater issue is something that we can probably relate to health in the future if we don't address. So I am definitely going to be working on that, and I will be having an environmental roundtable discussion very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilmember Ivy.
Thank you. Actually, I was concerned about this sewage overflow when I heard about it, and I did reach out to the Montgomery County Council Chair, Will Jawando. Is it Will the Chair? Natalie, okay. Well, it was Will who I asked, and he sent me information that said that they had found a way to connect pumps to reroute it, so it shouldn't be coming, additional wastewater shouldn't be coming, but a lot needs to be done to clean it, and it is a serious issue. And then the air traffic, I will check about that, because that's a federal issue.
Madam Chair, with your permission, may we hear from WSSC?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Joy Hamilton. Thank you for the opportunity. I am the Project Outreach Manager for WSSC Water. And I just wanted to reassure the WSSC Water customers that we care about very deeply that that break actually happened. We are upstream from that. That is not affecting WSSC water, drinking water quality. There is information on our website, on the front of our website, in the banner, in an orange banner up top, because it's that serious. WSSCwater.com, please check it out. I want you, and if you have any more questions, please do reach out to us. Customer service, 301-206-4001. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, council members. My name is Bill Anderson. I am with District 9. I'm here with a very big budget item. My issue is with trash on 495. I recall going back to Jack Johnson talking about we're going to clean up Prince George's County. Now I hear Executive Brayboy says she's going to clean up the county, but I don't see how you can clean up the county without first cleaning up the state roads. And the state owns all of those roads, and I'm going to list some of them. Route 4, Route 5, 202, 214, 301, Route 50, 197, and 198, to name a few. So the issue for me is this. There's 40 employees that work for the state that clean these roads. There's 200 miles of cleanup. So how is it with a few contractors being added? So how is it that 40 people could clean up 200 miles worth of roads and clean Interstate 495? And this is why I believe 495 looks the way it does 95% of the time trashy, because they don't have the power to do it. So what I asked Senator Charles in November when I attended his meeting, I said, why don't we create a dedicated team just for 495? Now, here's my justification for it. Well, when you think about it, 495 is traveled by anybody who's coming from Maine to Florida. Maine to Florida, you have to hit that 495 stretch through Prince George's County, not Montgomery County, through Prince George's County. So why aren't we getting more funding to get our roads clean, or at least to get that issue addressed? And that's my comment, and my time is up.
Thank you, Councilmember Fisher. Thank you so much for that, and that is going to be one of our a big priority for us in the General Assembly Committee. So the council, and you're very well educated on state road funding from the state, but we do advocate, and I will also make sure I talk with Mr. Denoga. So there's like a big letter that we send to State Highway Administration with our priorities on roads, like a lot of the roads that were talked about for Councilmember Harrison, but I think cleanup is something else that we will make sure with our state delegates, and I think we're in a good position with having a speaker from Prince George's County to try to make sure that we get dedicated funding and attention that we're needed. I don't think anyone of us disagrees with you about what State Highway needs to do to help pick up their responsibility in our county.
Right, and so I just have one other quick comment, is that I do think that 311 needs to be revamped. I know someone mentioned it, but the app is not very user-friendly to the citizens of the county. And
Thank
that's
you.
is my comment.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good afternoon. My name is Liz Johnson. I am the former housing chair for the Maryland Conference of the NAACP and also the Prince George's County branch of the NAACP. Ever since 2009, my colleagues and I have been fighting an issue that no one's talking about, and that is unlawful foreclosures. The state of Maryland is number 2 in the nation for foreclosures as we speak. Councilman Burrows, I'm sorry he's not here because I've got to send a real kudos out to him because, because when I told him about this issue, he immediately did something about it. On the 21st, he is sponsoring a seminar at the Center on Bach Road for people who are receiving a notice of intent to foreclose. Now, there have been so many people who have received these notices, and once they get them, they don't know what to do. So then when I shared this with him, he said that he would do something about it, and he is. So that for those of you who may have received this notice of intent to foreclose, you need to be at the seminar on the 21st from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock at the Center on Bach Road, because we will have attorneys there. We will also be there with other experts to help you out, to show you and tell you what your rights are under these foreclosures, because the banks have run amok. They've had nobody to go and combat them or check them, and they have just gone, and they are particularly working against majority-minority communities. And now with this number 2 in the country, you know where they're coming to foreclose. So hopefully you'll be able to be there at the hearing at the seminar on the 21st from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock at the Center on Bach Road. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Councilmember Fisher. First, thank you so much for your leadership. You have made this, and I want to give Councilmember Burrows his credit with you, have made this a priority. We are on the front lines sponsoring. It's HB 523. Dana Jones is on the House. Our own Senator Nick Charles is on the Senate. It's going to protect Maryland homeowners from predatory foreclosures from private equity firms and put a statute of limitation.
Exactly.
Basically means like you can't foreclose after this point. And when Councilmember Burrows was chair, he assigned me with that duty, and that's literally how the bill. Sometimes bills in Annapolis it doesn't have our name on it, but we're the ones forming the energy, and that was you. So HB 523 is your credit, and he had us do it, so we'll be in hearings on that, I think, next week.
Well, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but thank you so much for all that you've done so far.
Thank you.
And thank you for your work. This lady has been working on foreclosures for at least 2 decades.
Thank you.
Okay, let's continue. Herb Jones, Dwayne Peterson, and Miguel K. Miguel K.
7 more people. No, we have, including Herb Jones, 1, 2, 3.
Good evening. Again, my name is Herbert Jones. I'd like to thank the council for being here this evening. This is a great session. I also like to thank the community for being here, because this is what good government is about. Just a couple of quick points. There was some talk earlier about there's an upcoming session, council members having the PJM officials, etc. But I would encourage you strongly to be sure to have the Maryland Public Advocate, be sure to have the PJM Consumer Advocate's Office. Why? Because the PJM members are utilities. Their interest is in utility value. So to get a very fair conversation, you have to have the other side there. That is critical to address these high utility bill issues. In terms of economic development, and I'm going to address Councilmember Harris on this, because I met him, because I'm new to the area, 3 years ago. He had a very interesting charrette. And at that charrette, he talked about innovative medical district with an inelastic demand. What does that mean? Demand that people, a situation where people have to have food, medical, etc. So when you talk about economic development, I look at hyperscale data centers, from my perspective, based on what I've read, it doesn't do it. Yes, you have construction jobs on the front end, but after that, you have 15 people running the data center, 7 of which are running it from home. But the innovative district that Mr. Harris talked about 3 years ago, which would establish an inelastic demand with health disparities being what they are in the county, as well as food deserts, that would create sustainable jobs, long-term jobs, as well as maybe an interim high school.
Thank you. Just Councilman Bouguet.
Thank you. The Maryland People's Council will be speaking at the event, so they will be there.
Outstanding.
Yeah, they are one of the speakers. I just mentioned PJM because he's going to provide some facts, and I will say this: PJM is not. They are just operators of the grid, so they don't really connect with utilities. It has a different job in distribution, but they're pretty much just operators of the grid. So the grid has to run. They don't care whether, in fact, PJM has actually went to the state 5 years ago begging them to take action because they were concerned about not having enough things. So all PJM does is if this place needs power, they give you power. If this place needs power, they go through different generations to give it. So, but we'll talk about it. I expect to see you at the State of the County.
While I don't disagree with what you just said, no disrespect, it's a little more than that. The PJM is a little more than that, and it's run by the utilities. That's critical. They are the members. Go online right now, you see who all the members are. Pepco, Exelon, they're members.
Okay, and that's why we have the People's Council there to be able to balance the discussion.
Thank you. Next.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dwayne Peterson. I live in District 6, Upper Marlboro, and I live in a food desert. I know I don't look like it, but I do live in a food desert. The closest grocery store is 5 miles down the road, 5 miles up the road, and that close grocery store is about to be closed. Shoppers. So what are we going to have, right? I know Councilmember Bligay talked about, we're going to get some new announcement in 45 days. Councilmember, I respect you, but you've been saying that for almost 2 years, and I'm still hungry. So I'm looking forward, let me finish, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to hearing this, and I hope whatever you're bringing is going to be factual and we're going to get it, right? I shouldn't have to go to Virginia to get healthy food from Whole Foods, or even Washington, D.C. That's crazy. We live in our income meets a requirement that Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and Publix and all them, so why don't we have that? It's been 2 years. I'll move on from that. For the Spear that we're having in National Harbor, I'm for it, whatever, but I hope you guys can keep your thoughts on the traffic issue going into Virginia, especially from Branch Avenue going all the way down to Woodrow Wilson Bridge in the mornings and in the evenings. The traffic is horrible. So whatever you guys decide whenever they come to the council, make sure that there's some money and there's a study in there to address the traffic issues that widen the lanes, put some toll lanes, something to help. Because I drive through that every day, and it's just getting worse. The traffic light, Dower House Road, it's horrible. It's horrible. You guys probably need to take that light out because it's affecting traffic from Dower House Road all the way past Woodyard Road going down into Pennsylvania Avenue. It's just horrible. And I don't know if it's automatic, but you guys need to do that. Six Flags, what do you guys do with the Six Flags location? If you guys can share some light on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Bligay.
So, in fairness, I understand we have been talking about trying to get retail 2 years ago. The difference is we have retail. So the difference is when I first got in, remember Westphalia, and I know you live in Westphalia because Dower House Road, Westphalia was an idea that was supposed to be 20 years ago and hadn't moved forward at all by the time I got in. It was 2007. I started office in 2022. So we were picking off where something had lain dormant for years. When we had the first meeting in 2023, I said, everybody says we want retail, and we came and said we're trying to get retail, but the developer had not even put the plan in place. So that discussion, if you were in that meeting at Arrowhead 2 years ago, the discussion there was not that we had retail, but that we wanted retail, and that was where you all made it clear that you all did not want to live there if retail did not come. We listened to you. We had the developer come. They claimed they had some issues. The difference is 2 years later, we have retail. The applications have been placed in. They are in negotiations with the grocery store. The grocery store, the negotiations takes 2 to 3 months or so. That it takes a while to negotiate a grocer. It's not I don't have this experience, so I can't really go to them and say hurry up. But I will say that most development actually takes a long time. Like I didn't realize that until I got in office, but that is the case. We will have a grocer. They want to get it up by 2027, but the negotiation has to finish to actually announce it. So we'll get that soon. As the Dower House Road issue, I do know that was brought forth. That is an agreement between the developer and the state. They're working on it. They're finishing up that. I think we had that meeting 3 months ago. We did have Walter Gill go over the updates. There has been back and forth and prolonging with finishing up Dower House Road that is off Westphalia. But remember, it's not even all the way finished because all the development there is not done yet. So there is some other things that we have to do. Lastly, Six Flags, it might seem like everything's taken so long because Six Flags was announced the closure months before it closed. So everyone was like, by the time they announced, they surprised us with a closure in April. And everyone will say, well, what's going to happen next? But we can't talk about what's happened next until it closes because we actually need a new buyer. So they did a bidding on a new buyer in August. And when I met with them in December, that they said that they will let us know who the new buyer is in the first quarter. And the first quarter will be between now and March. So we're still waiting. We don't have a new buyer. Because we don't have a new buyer, we really do not want to trick people into talking about what the plans are. We do know that there were proposals put forth for all of the people who bidded. I did meet with some of the people that bid, but it was an NDA process, so I don't know who got the bid. And once we know who got the bid, then we are going to go forward to talk about what we're going to put there, but we can't do that until we know the new buyers.
Thank you. And I just want to make sure that one thing is clear, that there's a separation between what the government can do and the private industry and the businesses. So sometimes we'll say we're working, which means we're just helping to facilitate. We might be advocating, trying to bring the stakeholders to the table. And I think that sometimes leads residents to believe that we can force the grocer to come there, or we can force this person to sell or get a person to, for example, Legends. We can force them to sell their property, or we can force them to get a new tenant when we cannot. They have rights as someone that has bought that property that we cannot infringe on. So what we can do are the policy that incentivizes them. So we're just as frustrated as you about wanting them to come. But the reality is there's some things around, let's be honest, there's some racism factors. Of course. There's a lot of other factors that play a part. Insurance costs, there's a lot of things at play and that are outside of our control, but we try to focus on all of the barriers and taking them away to make it as attractive as possible for them to come. And then there's a neighborhood academy that the planning board hosts, which will be really great for community members to participate. It's built for community members to learn how to participate, learn how the process works, and we'll make sure to post that on the council website so that people can get access to that. And I apologize you can't come back because we have a hard stop. We have a hard stop at 9 o'clock.
There are people
and
who have
I
not
definitely want
come over to talk to you.
Thank you, council member. I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to speak. So.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Miguel Koshanievich. I am a lifelong resident of Prince George's County. I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I am a son of immigrants, and I am a Salvadoran American. And I want to talk about the data centers, and I want to talk about ICE, and the fact that ICE has invested billions of dollars into these data centers for immigration OS and other mass surveillance and facial recognition technologies. They are using these data centers to terrorize my community and many communities across PG County and across the United States of America. And given the fact that a quarter of PG County residents are immigrants, I want to ask each of you individually a simple yes or no question. Will you commit to a permanent ban on the construction of data centers in Prince George's County?
Yes, for me.
I would appreciate an answer for all 5 of you.
I'm not going to commit to a ban on something that if there's a good place for it where the community around it supports it and it's not good for anything else, it seems like it should be considered. I can't make it happen and I can't stop it from happening necessarily, but I'm not going to say that I'm against something that could bring in millions and millions and millions of dollars to our county when we're all sitting here saying we don't have enough money. So if you keep saying we don't have enough money, but you say no to every possible way to bring in money, then what are we going to do? So I won't make that promise. Thank you.
So for me, I'll just look at it like this. I understand. For me, it's about balance. How do we create balance in Prince George's County? How do we create the harmony that we want to see? And how does that mean when we sit in a quasi-judicial role on the Prince George's County Council? So you're asking me to commit to something basically and typically right now that is a hypothetical. Right now, we don't have the zoning in Prince George's County. Right now, what we're looking at is how can we create more revenue for the county. We are on the precipice. If we don't change course, we are on the precipice of really being in a deep abyss. That is a fact. So while I have to manage everything that's going to make sense in the role that I sit, I'm open to learning what everyone has to say. But I can't commit to that without hearing from everybody.
Thank you. Any other council members? Well, no, I'm not forcing. I'm just giving space.
I would say no for now. No, definitely to Landover. No for now until we get some things in place. We don't have the infrastructure. There's some legislation and things recommendations that we made. I was the one that introduced the pause because there were some things that we need to get in place, like this electricity issue. We need to make sure we bring their own generation. There are things that we need to get in place before we do that, but we do have revenue issues that are real. I would just say this to some of the colleagues' point that they brought. Loudoun County lowered taxes, and I have residents in here that I know who've asked me that they need taxes lowered, like our seniors who have brought to me to my attention multiple times that they need a break on taxes. If we do not get something that we're talking about Six Flags, but the reality is that for something big and massive like that, which we're looking at something like National Harbor took about 10 to 20 years to put together, and to see what we're going to see at National Harbor at Six Flags is going to take about between 5 to a decade. So the reality is for Black communities, we need the resources to support our communities, and for immigrant communities too. And for every immigrant, multiple of us up here are daughters of immigrants. For one thing is that for our immigrant community, there's a lot of support needed, and right now I can't find the money for it. So the reality is that while it's no for now, the concerns about funding is a real issue that I'm going to consider for the future if there is a data center that comes up.
Thank you. I'll be short, Madam Chair, because everyone else answered. Thank you. Okay. I don't think Landover is a good idea or possible for that site. I would say Councilmember Harrison took the words out of my mouth. Where I chair all 8 large counties for Maryland Association of Counties. So you all know, the Prince George's County Council, we are the only council that also sits as a district council. When we sit as district council on Mondays, we're like a judge panel on land use. So it's very hard to, and that's why sometimes you hear us say, oh, it's ex parte. When you go to Anne Arundel, when you go to Montgomery County, when you go to Baltimore City, all who voted for me to represent them for MACO, they don't sit like that. So to put on record a hypothetical, not a bill, not a case, and we make decisions of land use, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, and I wouldn't want the state legislature to take that power away from us. There's a lot of housing bills at Annapolis this year about how they want things built. And so I think we have to be really careful and cautious about things that we say. And I think it was this. I think other forms of rent came up. I need a bill, a fiscal note, everything. I think any legislator wants to see what they're voting on and know the details before they make any commitment, and a proper public hearing.
Thank you. And since I was the only one that did a short answer and followed the request, I do want to just add this point, because I think you on the side of standing with the community on this issue, I just think it's disingenuous when we say we need revenue, so we've got to build this thing. And it doesn't matter what the community thinks. It doesn't matter that we don't know what the impact of the health is going to be. It doesn't matter anything, but the excuse is we just need revenue. There's a lot of ways for us to get revenue. We don't even understand the revenue tied to one. So it's not like we're going to be like these jurisdictions that have so many data centers. So to compare their revenue projections to building one or two, because we don't even have the capacity to build the size that they have, I just think it's disingenuous to the community. So thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Thank you. Next, we will have Barbara Robinson, Angela Fontaine, and Ramika Chase.
And I'm sorry, can you tell me how many we have left total? Okay, we have 9 left. And we had a hard stop at 9, but I'm hopeful that since we only have 9 left, we're going to be able to get through this. So I apologize if we don't give you full answers. It's going to be one person answering your question. If it's a comment, no one's going to speak. The floor is yours.
Yes. Hello, my name is Barbara Robinson, and I have been in this community, I live right up the street, since 1967. And since then, you know, you look at how things are progressing, and you think you're going forward. But since I've been here in this community, I have seen services and everything dwindle. And I just want the council to look at it. And also, I'd like to thank Crystal Arietta, our councilwoman, who has vividly, she has worked for us. And I like her stance, and she stands strong and has put through a lot of bills. And I thank you, Councilwoman. Also, I have a problem with this. I've had a problem with the snow like everyone, so I'm not going to dwell on that. But last year, the snow in this area, the removal, was just horrible. And they are supposed to learn from that. This year, it was worse. I waited till the end of the second day just to call 311 so that I just thought maybe they forgot me. And I know that I said, I'll wait. I called, and I heard the spill, and I left it on. Finally, it got to the music part. 4 hours later, after 3 of my phones had gone dead, it was still there, and it was 5 o'clock. So I said, well, they're not going to answer. And I know we've learned from...
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Okay, virtual, we should have set up some type of phone working from home. Thank you.
No, thank you. Great points we'll make note of.
I'll pick up where she left off. That's my mama.
Advocating together. I love it.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Angela Fontaine. I'm also a member of the Hillcrest Marlow Heights Civic Association. This is our house. Okay? Thank you all that have come, the council and Council Chair Oriata. We thank you for your work. Good to see you, Ms. Fisher. She was recently at our Civic Association meeting. I'm a very active community member. I'm also a product of Prince George's County, a graduate of Siouxland High School. Go Rams. And thank you for revitalizing and actually building the new Siouxland High School. I'm also coming because of the snow removal concerns. This is the second year in a row. We felt that we were left behind. I thought, and was assured thinking, it would definitely be better. I'm from the school of when you get ready, basically, you know, you actually stay. I thought that we were, I'm sorry. I'm just so passionate about this because at the end of my street, the fire department was stuck. My neighbor called Shamari Stone from Channel 5. He quickly came out and reported on that. It's unacceptable. Why is this? What are we doing going forward? Are we meeting with members of other states that have success? Are we renting these massive snow removal systems? I know it may not be cost effective for our county, but what are we doing going forward? Also, the other issue is the tobacco stores. I was personally asked by the last administration, Ms. Also Brooks, to serve on the tobacco task force. Who is enforcing it? It is not being enforced. These stores are continually staying open 24 hours. What's the shut-off time?
Thank you. The tobacco store issue is a top priority. We have a new division called Legislative Impact, which is all about making sure that the laws that we pass are actually followed by the agencies. And so the legislation around the tobacco stores that we pass, regulating like the lights, the hours, even where they can be. They're not even supposed to open up new ones in residential. It's only supposed to be in light and heavy industrial. So that's a top priority for them to start evaluating. The county executive has already talked about calling a session to bring in regional conversations around the snow, so neighboring jurisdictions, so we can learn from each other. And so it's a broader conversation than what we're just doing in Prince George's County. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Noah Waters, Brian Johnson, Deneen Fleming, and Renita Brent.
Thank you for having this. My name is Dr. Noah Waters. I'm also a candidate, as you know, for County Council at Large. I'm the former mayor of the town of Eagle Harbor, which is one of the last predominantly African-American waterfront communities remaining in the United States. One of the last predominantly African-American waterfront communities remaining in these United States right here in Prince George's County. I know one of you has proposed a data center to be near Eagle Harbor in its backyard. You know, Eagle Harbor is considered the paradise on the Patuxent. You passed the ruling CR 038-2025, March 25th of last year, that designated the entire county a heritage area. It's a gold mine. You talk about money. If you started to advertise Prince George's County today, you will have visitors tomorrow. To people, when we go visit Ocean City and places beyond, we spend money on hotels, restaurants, entertainment. Same is available for for Prince George's County, which has over 460 historic sites that are phenomenal, some of the first in the country. So I would ask that there be an about face, and I thank you, Madam Chair Oriata, for your definitive stance against data centers, because it's the redundant, the information, the scientists, the engineers, the information on data centers, it's overwhelmingly negative. So for people who are just bent on leaving that as a thought for Prince George's County, it's disappointing. It is really disappointing. And these people are trying to grab 4 more years. People need to know right now you have the leverage of the vote, you have the upcoming election. I ask you to use that and probably choose people who are like Madam Chair Oriata, who are definitive against data centers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will say I don't know any project that is doing that. So I just want to know, that might be a rumor, but there's no project for a data center near a waterfront.
How y'all doing? Brian Johnson here. I work in the county. Just letting you guys know, the snow removal has been terrible. I thought we loved Martin Luther King Highway. It's still not clean. It's still a one-way lane. It's supposed to be 3 lanes going down there. So turning lanes, it's all a hazard. People are walking in the streets. They can't walk on the sidewalks. It is horrible. And like other people said, we thought we would learn something from last year with Tara Jackson. She came on my street. I live down here on 23rd Parkway. You know, we thought we'd learn something from that. Even this week. I mean, the kids late to get into school, like a whole week out of school. It's crazy. This is insane. So I'm going to keep it real short here. Data centers, it seems like everybody's agreement. You guys made your own mind on your data centers. The community feels their way about it. We don't really like it, but you guys have your own decision on that. As well as the sphere, my news reports about the sphere, nobody really wants it either. We feel like it's a waste of money. Who's going to pay for it? Who's actually going to be there? Like, it's a waste. But that's all I really have to say for you guys. Hopefully we can remove the snow. You know, thank you guys.
No, thank you.
Dr. Deneen Fleming here. Greetings to everyone, the board, the county councilmen and women, and everyone here. I have 2 questions. One question is, what is PG County doing to support affordable housing development, in particularly smaller scale housing, tiny homes development, and using alternative energy sources such as geothermal and solar energy? My focus is on the built environment, to leave a net zero footprint in our environment. I'm aware that the county did not meet its 2024 goal and fell short of its 2025 goal for housing. Housing here is very expensive, as we all know, and I just think our lower income and even regular income people cannot afford the housing here. So I'm here to provide a solution to help the county meet its future goals, and I'm looking for the county and state partnerships to begin engagement to build housing of this type for economic development. And can you point me in the right direction? That's my first question. My second question is, I live in Accokeek, so Councilman Harrison, I'm in your district, and there's just no retail all the way down to 10. I often, like 90% of the time, I'm spending my money in a different county, Waldorf, to go shopping. There's no quality food sources in southern Maryland. I don't know about any other part of Maryland because I don't live there and I don't drive through there. But I do drive a great distance from my home to Bethesda, North Bethesda, every day. I drive through the city. I drive through D.C., Maryland, and Virginia every day. So I do understand everyone's concerned about snow removal, so I'm not going to get into that. But I'm really, really, really interested in deciding what do I do. And I want to know if you guys are partnering with NREL, the National Renewable Energy Laboratories, with the Department of Energy, because I am. So
thank you. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you. Thank you for coming here this evening. Please, I wanted to tell you, you had a question about tiny homes. And in sub-region 5 and 6, if you look at the county's housing portfolio, we have about 361,000 homes in Prince George's County. 52% of them are single-family homes, 19% are townhomes, 8% are multifamily, and then you have apartments. But if you look at the housing stock for our seniors, for our first-time home buyers, the average home sale in Prince George's County, I think, is like $454,000 right now. In Brandywine, with the new townhomes that are being built, are $519,000. So housing affordability is an issue. So I've been looking at in sub-region 5 and 6 around town activity centers and places of retail, as you spoke of, is creating tiny homes, housing villas, around those with price points from $175 to $275.
Thank you.
And ADUs. ADUs on acre lots, somewhere between 15 and 20 acre lots for our farmers for ADUs, and around our town activity centers as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. I'll be in touch.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this forum. I just have a quick question for direction. I am, real quick, inspections, home inspections, houses that are being totally renovated and sold, and you find out 10, 12 years later that they were never inspected by the county. The homeowners are then forced with plumbing that was put in incorrectly, electricals that were put in correctly. I spoke with Councilman Burrows last year. He sent me to someone really quick. They called me back. The inspector came out and said, you will be fined because this was not put in correctly. We as buyers, we can't see up underneath the house if the pipes were not put in correctly. An example, I called HomeServe a couple of months ago. They would not touch the pipe. Even though I've been paying them for years in case something happened, they would not touch the pipe because it was put in incorrectly. We don't know. We can't go up under there and inspect. If they don't make buyers, when they buy these homes, if they don't let the inspectors come out and inspect these homes properly, I went personally to the county. The house had never been inspected, not by one electrician, not by one plumber, nothing. So therefore, as far as I told HomeServe the other week, well, I need someone to come out, just inspect my whole house and see if everything was put in incorrectly, because I don't need to keep paying you if you can't fix anything for me. I've been paying for years. I've already probably paid for some plumbing work.
Yes, ma'am. And Councilmember Harrison, he's going to give you a contact to connect you directly with DPI.
Okay.
So that they can address your issue offline.
Because I did have an inspector come out and he told me, he said, oh, you'll get fined if I write this up on you because it's on you now. And
and I've had a couple of constituents with that same concern, and that's an issue we have to address.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, the last five. All right, Bill Asoba, Thomas Sarah, E. Fatima Hassan, Charles Askins, and Morris Neal. Thank you.
And you don't have to take all your time if you don't want to, but no pressure.
I'll try to keep it brief.
Okay.
But my name is Bill Osogba. I was born and raised in PG County. My parents were immigrants to this country, and they work in the hair braiding business. I'm sure most of us here have been serviced by African hairstylists. I wanted to ask, what additional assurances and protocols will you ensure to protect our undocumented or documented immigrants from ICE? I go to the University of Maryland. I'm a part of the YDSA. We've been trying to get the university to assure its students that they will not allow ICE into private property without judicial warrants, and I also, without judicial warrants, not provide staff or faculty or student information to ICE, and ensure that the Maryland Police Department, the UMD Maryland Police Department, will not cooperate with ICE. I guess as a side question, I wanted to know if any of you guys would be willing to sign a letter or write to President Pines to ensure that, or to write in support of these policies. Thank you.
Thank you. So we are actually working across, there's lots of different council members that have legislation on ICE. So we're going to do a package of legislation. We're looking across the country to see the boldest pieces of legislation we can do. So that will be coming forth. We also can talk to I can't speak for everyone, but for sure the three of us offline, all of us are first generation Americans. I definitely will be open to signing your letter. But that's something we're definitely working on now.
All right. Should I? Oh, sorry.
So I actually partnered with C&J Migrants. We created a program, Community Defense Against ICE. So if you all know anyone that has been or is nervous about ICE, we do have information on that program. From my office, we're working with C&J Migrants to protect our anybody who feels threatened by ICE, and I will be willing to sign your letter.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. How should I get in contact with you guys?
So our tables,
Nadia,
each of them
can you
have a
come up to
representative, but Denise, everyone from our 3 offices, can you make sure you come to this young man so he can get our information?
All right. Thank you, guys.
No, you're welcome.
Good evening, council members. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Fatima Hassan, and I am a founding member of Ujamaa Cooperative Farming Alliance, headquartered in Prince George's County, and we focus on food equity, food sovereignty, working with agriculture enterprises, and youth programs. So I'll make this short. Ujamaa has a critical funding concern, and that is the proposed reduction of funding of the University of Maryland Extension. It's a huge cut. It's been brought up previously, and this means that they may very well have to close their doors. So this threatens the local office in Clinton and the essential services that they provide. So please reconsider that. Regarding agricultural and environmental protection, the University of Maryland Extension supports the county's $22 million agricultural sector and the landowners and farmers. So master gardeners have served many hours of services, volunteer services to protect the local watersheds. So please support these programs fully. And finally, the need to support fully fund the 4-H program. As was pointed out earlier, Congressman Ivey recognized this program for STEM excellence, and we really need to prepare our youth for the professional careers of tomorrow. So please support that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been asked to move out in order, if that's okay.
Sure.
Charles Askins, Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I just want to notify everybody that we're in a room surrounded by very involved citizens. You guys and all of you. Thanks to everybody. This is about data centers. You've heard that data centers are going to be the magic bullet that gives you all the money you ever need to fund the county, or a lot of it. But let me tell you something. Data centers are a method to siphon money out of uninformed and uneducated investors. And that's just the financial side. The other thing I'd like you to look at this about is we've heard many times about the energy involved in running data centers, particularly these hyperscales. If you look at the Prince George County, there's about 946 gigawatts needed to run our county. But that runs an area of 499 miles, almost 1 million citizens, 500,000 laborers, in other words, the workforce of the county, 322 households. Household income, read tax base, $42 billion. And the gross domestic product of this county is $63 billion. 946 gigawatts gets you all that in this county. Let me propose that you force us to double the amount of electrical generation or consumption in this county for something that doesn't have any square miles to it. There are no residents involved. The labor force, 115, it's hard to say what that really would be. Households, nada. Household income, how many employees are there? Take it back of the envelope. Let's say there's 200 employees, they make $50K a year, $2 million, okay? Gross domestic product, I don't know. We have only a certain amount of ability to generate energy and burn fossil fuels. This is a horrible investment.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Thomas Sarah. I was born and raised in PG County. I'm currently enrolled in PGCC, and this is my first time showing up to speak to my county representatives. I'm here today to bring up all my concerns about the AI data centers. Let me start by saying I'm strongly opposed AI data centers. Let me be clear when I say AI is not a tool for business. It will bring no prosperity. And AI is not a tool against crime. It is a weapon against resistance. AI is used by ICE to tear apart our communities. It poisons the air. It takes our jobs. The company Palantir is currently developing AI to stalk and kill people. They make no effort to hide it, and they will tell you themselves. AI drives up our energy prices and pollutes our air, which is already carcinogenic. We already get an F. Sorry, I lost my place.
You're okay.
You are not investing in our community. You are killing us and making us pay for it. Politicians keep on pushing data centers on our communities, and we keep saying no. If you are still pondering whether or not we will let you, the answer is no. When representatives discuss the benefits of AI, it kills a part of me. Because either you are unaware of the way it destroys communities, or you do not care. And I'm going to ask you all again, do you support an AI ban? Yes or no? An AI data center ban? Yes or no? I'm asking all 5 of you.
Thank you. Again, I do support a ban, but we'll be moving on to the next question. But thank you.
Can I get an answer from all 5 of you?
I've answered the question.
Asked and answered.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
All right,
so much.
before I
They
leave,
have
I would
answered.
just like to say, a lot of people ask my generation, what will you do? Will you be able to fix the environment? Will you be able to do it? By the time I'm able to run for office, it will be too late, which is why I'm acting now, and I need you to do the same.
We
Thank
will.
you.
Thank you
got
so
you.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank
for being an organizer, an advocate. I really just appreciate seeing all these young people engaged. I really, really do.
Now let's get some old people engaged. My name is Morris Neal, and I want to speak about the uses of the AR zoning in District 9 today. We have dirt dumps, gravel mining, contaminated soil disposal, concrete recycling, and all these are industrial operations in the AR and AG zone, with special exceptions. All of these have been in this area for decades, and I do mean decades. District 9 is literally dumped on every day, and it has no significantly, it doesn't contribute to the tax bases or the occupancy, and it occupies thousands of acres. It has no economic driver or community growth or jobs. Now, in this area, I know everybody's familiar with the Old Fort Road dump, Palmer Road dump. Now there's one in southern Maryland on Gardner Road, and that particular dump is owned by a company in Virginia that bring their disposal trucks down 210 over to Accokeek, and 90% of the dirt and the material there comes out of state. It's not even Prince George County dirt. So literally, we're kind of like a disposal site. But the data center,
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Is that our last speaker? Excuse me. Thank you. So one, I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank the staff of the County Council for all of your amazing work. This is our last of the 3 sessions, so a report will come out. Please, let's exit as quickly as possible because they were supposed to close at 9. So I thank the staff of Park and Planning for staying late. Thank you.